Hey, do you find yourself distracted, forgetting things, making mistakes at work? A quality night's sleep makes all the difference, and the right mattress is the difference between resting and just laying down. The Leesa mattress is the product of more than 30 years of experience in mattress engineering and hundreds of hours of testing. Hundreds of hours spent laying on these mattresses to make sure they're right for you. Leesa mattresses are comprised of 3 foam layers that provide cooling, pressure relief, body contouring, and support. Over 300,000 happy Leesa sleepers agree that the Leesa mattress gives them the rest they need. Order your Leesa mattress online at leesa.com/bombcast with promo code BOMBCAST and try it risk-free for 100 nights. The Leesa mattress ships direct to your door in a convenient box with free shipping and free returns. Get up to $160 off the Leesa mattress or $235 off the luxury Sapira mattress and free shipping on the Leesa mattress at leesa.com/bombcast and enter the promo code BOMBCAST at checkout.
Hey, hi, hello. It is Tuesday, September the 18th.
You better believe it!
2018.
Now I don't believe it.
No?
No.
What do you not believe?
The year part.
Oh, okay. You're good with the day
We've made it this long.
and the month.
Okay.
What about the podcast?
The podcast will last
You
forever.
believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in the podcast.
Okay.
It's the only thing I believe in.
Yeah, okay, sure. I can see that. It's Giant Bombcast. Hello.
Hey.
Ben Pack is still out on vacation. Matt Rory is here in his place, which I was all
In
excited about
instead,
until he started impugning my choice of hot sauce
Jerk.
I don't
before
know,
the
man.
show.
Sauce shaming.
I
Never would have thought.
I didn't mean it that way.
Wow.
Well, how did you mean it?
I just meant it's mild.
He's sorry if you were offended.
Jan asked me what my favorite hot sauce was, and I said it, and Rory was just like, "Oh, that's not very hot."
Frank's Red Hot. It's
I know it's not very hot.
Okay,
It's just
I
a good
don't-
all-purpose hot sauce.
I don't
Yeah.
mind it either. I put it on popcorn.
Not
You
very
ever done
hot.
that? Get popcorn and just pour a hot sauce on it and shake it up.
I've seen
That
you
sounds
do
like
it.
that sounds good, but it sounds like a giant mess.
It's a little soggy, but
Ugh.
Well, yeah,
Chopsticks at that point.
Ugh.
Like,
no,
Do you
some
do it
people
here
use
at work?
chopsticks to eat
Yeah.
Cheetos.
Really?
Of course.
Because
Only if you're a
the
movie star.
containers
Okay.
they leak down at the bottom.
you don't put on like a dousing amount. You just put on enough for flavor.
Just a couple drops.
You do that in the theater?
In the theater?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
you bring in hot sauce into a movie theater?
I barely ever get popcorn in a theater. That's my
Do
girlfriend's thing.
jalapeno juice in the theater.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Just kind of ladle it out of the hot dog area.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. Put it in a little container and stuff, and yeah,
Ooh.
throw some jalapenos.
Sounds
on there.
okay.
It's pretty all right.
Sounds kind of like a mess.
I don't need that. Not for popcorn.
No.
If
No.
you're avoiding foods based on messiness factor, you're gonna leave a lot of good stuff on the table. That's all I'm saying.
That's how I've lived
that's
my
fair.
life
Just
so
use
far.
a fork. I mean, it's like people get all up in arms about like, I can't believe you would eat pizza with a fork and a knife. It's like, motherfucker, I'm trying to play video games over here while I eat this pizza. I can't grease up my hands.
Pizza is greasy. It's well known. There's a fact.
Thanks for filling in
Finally,
the gaps on that one
factual.
for us.
We deal in fucking facts around here.
It's true.
This isn't some run-of-the-mill
No.
bullshit podcast. This is the goddamn Giant
We're
Bombcast.
an authority on all subjects.
A decade in.
That's right. Finally, the real truth about pizza can be told.
Shit's greasy.
It can be greasy.
Thanks to Matt Rory.
You ever mop up the grease with like a paper?
Once in a while. It takes a real nasty. It takes a nasty pizza for me to want to.
I had a friend in high school that introduced me to that concept, and I remember at the time being like, "That's fucking crazy."
You're gonna get paper all over the goddamn pizza.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's
Pizza can be greasy.
There's sometimes.
So
Yeah.
I've heard.
Whatever squirts, that's when you really know.
yeah, if you squeeze the pizza and it's like squirting into people's eyes and stuff like that, like that's
So that's why you take
like
the,
you're squeezing a lemon.
take the pizza, fold it in half, and then
Wring it out.
Twist it like
Yeah.
a towel.
There you go.
Just bring all the grease out of it.
You got to just mop it up.
And then at the end, it's rolled up like a fun burrito.
Yeah. It's a pizza twist.
I had a room service pizza the other night that sucked shit.
Okay.
It was like, I mean, you
but-
know, but normally I find room
You got to
service.
be in a spot when you have to.
Oh yeah, no,
Did it
there
seem-
was no choice.
Did it seem frozen? Because I would not.
Yeah.
I would not expect a hotel to make like pizzas on demand.
I was saying like room service. I feel like goes one of two directions, and usually you can look at the macaroni and cheese to figure it out.
Sure.
If it's like fucking check out our fancy 3 cheese macaroni and cheese, it sucks for that reason. Yeah. Or if it's like it's either too high or too low. It's never that good middle lane.
It's either lobster macaroni and cheese or it's Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah. I would take the Kraft 100% of the time. The lobster 0% of the time.
I mean, it's just the cockroach of the ocean.
Yeah, basically. And this pizza was bad. Yeah. Maybe wasn't frozen necessarily, but it definitely didn't take. Like I would have been better served by ordering a delivery pizza from any option available.
Some hotels get mad at that. When you
some
Do they really?
Sometimes you got to like fill up camera bags full of food if you want to bring food into a hotel.
What is it, like some kind of corkage fee for your delivered pizza or something?
Some people want you to use room
That's
service.
ridiculous.
No,
The hotel's like your house while you're not at home.
They can get it all
You should
snooty
be able
if
to
they want.
eat whatever you want in your own house.
I would have had to
fucking
have
kicked me out for ordering pizza. Come on.
I would have had to have met them in the lobby because the elevator was one of those put your card on the thing type things.
Yeah.
I recommend.
Some people say no. There's no such thing as bad pizza, which is untrue. There is definitely bad pizza.
I'll tell you what, though. Now that I am not eating pizza, let's say 2 to 5 times a month.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say a week there.
No. But there would be some weeks where there would be 2 in a week. But now that I am going much longer distances between pizzas, I'll take what I can fucking get.
Right.
I ate half of that shitty pizza before finally going like I can't.
Dunzo.
Yeah. That was in Reno.
Oh,
Well,
that explains everything.
I was on the road. I drove
Road pizza.
I drove 1,200 miles in 4 fucking days.
Ooh.
And
That's a lot.
yeah, it was in 4, and we drove every day. There was a memorial service we had to go to in Idaho, and yeah, that's a drive, man.
No
Yeah,
day that
totally.
does not contain driving.
Exactly, it's a 9.5 hour drive in one shot, and we split it up, and so I ended up in Idaho for 18 hours, something like that.
jeez.
And
Any good truck stops?
not so much on the truck stops. I got a speeding ticket near a prison.
Damn it.
To be fair, I was fucking speeding. No, but it was interesting because I was confused about, like, in retrospect, it makes a lot more sense. But at the time, the cop asked my wife, "Are you together?"
Yeah.
Escapees.
Does it
No,
matter?
well, there's escapees, but also
sure.
that was met with like. Then once I took the whole trip in and realized how many different like signs in bathrooms or on top of taxi cabs and stuff. They're like, "Hey, human trafficking's fucking real." I was like, "Oh right, no,
Yikes.
that's why they would ask that." Also, it was near a prison. So it was like signs up to say, "Hey, hitchhiking is prohibited." I was like, "Oh
Man,
yeah,
if you want
yeah.
to steal somebody, like a prison's probably good. Like they'd go willingly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
If you get somebody out of a prison,
Yeah.
it'd be like, whatever, man, sign me
Sure,
up.
Yeah.
3 hots and a cot is one thing, but like sitting in the passenger seat of this car. Idaho is a lot nicer than I thought it would be. If you like chain restaurants,
Yeah.
I should say
Specifically.
specifically.
What about potatoes?
I didn't see a single other than the license plates. Just fucking so the Idaho license plate. It says like scenic Idaho, and then the bottom it just says famous potatoes.
My
I
favorite
was like,
kind.
yeah, I guess. No, I don't know, man. It was a cornucopia of fucking Del Tacos and Sonics and just like and hospitals, which maybe goes hand in hand.
Sure,
But, Golden Corrals, and I didn't have time to eat at any of that. I did go to a used game store while we were there.
Make a big score.
No, but man, if you want original Xbox games, Idaho is swimming in them. Went to a place. These guys is the VIP game store. It was called.
Okay.
2 guys in there, both wearing fake tuxedo T-shirts.
Wow. Really make you feel like you matter.
Yeah, and I almost bought a copy of Stolen, that shit ass stealth game, because it was $2. And I was looking at it, going like, "Yeah, what if we played through Stolen?" I was like, "No."
Oh. Somebody else can volunteer for that duty.
But man, if you like PS2 and Xbox stuff, they were swimming in it.
Was it pretty much all used, like nothing new?
Oh yeah. I think they, there was some Switch stuff. Like they definitely had a little bit of everything,
But nothing
going
like-
back a certain distance.
Yeah.
What
And
is a
then-
common used Switch game? 18 months in.
I don't know. They had like
Everything?
That Ultra Street Fighter, the new Challengers. I feel like they had multiple copies of that.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
But everything else seemed like it was kind of one per.
Okay.
But I don't know. I always go into stores like that, like never really sure what I'm looking for, other than that what I'm usually looking for is older or slightly more obscure than the stuff they have.
It will find you.
Yeah.
Usually don't go for the games because the games, they know how much that shit is worth.
Oh, for sure.
And they're going to try and match internet prices. So
Yeah.
I'm like looking for like peripherals, like weird ass controllers or like arcade sticks.
Yeah, that makes sense. They had like a SNES arcade stick and a couple other weird things like that, but
Sure.
nothing too out of the ordinary. I feel like I'm always going in there going like, maybe this will be the store that has a weird array of extremely low-priced TurboGrafx CD games, and no, it is never. It's
never
never,
gonna
never,
happen.
never the case.
That stuff's all out of the channel at this point.
That stuff is
You gotta
that
go.
stuff. I feel
People
like
are clinging to that stuff now.
well, if someone walked into that store or any store like that with a bunch of that shit, they would probably buy it and then immediately turn it on eBay or something like that, where they can find the people that are looking for that stuff, as opposed to like, hey, this strip mall, someone's gonna walk in off the street and be like, you got the TurboGrafx, like other than me, who's gonna do that? So
Did Will Smith's eBay auction wind up? I looked at the.
I don't know. I should. You know what? I'm
see the-
gonna look that up right
see if
now.
That actually sold. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
What was he selling?
He found a sealed World of Warcraft original 2004 collector's edition in his garage,
Yeah.
which the pet code is worth a lot of money. He put
Right,
it up.
Yes.
The buy it now price was $6,000.
Yep.
And I'm curious if anybody bid on that or anything else.
I
because
also bought one of those when it came out, and really wish I hadn't opened it now.
but
But I got that Zergling. I got that little Zergling following me around.
I used it. I think I got one from Blizzard and just used it. So
He said he would have probably thrown it away had people not told him that little pet code thing was worth a lot of money.
He offered it to a friend.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if he tweeted that or if we were talking to him offline about it. But apparently his friend hemmed and hawed a little bit.
Yeah.
And finally, and said, I could take this from you, but you should take a look at eBay before you give it to me.
If I was on eBay, I would even with the pictures of it being shrink wrapped. You can shrink wrap stuff now. I don't know if I would spend $6,000 on something for virtual item.
There's a bid on it.
Will Smith is a trustworthy individual.
He only has one feedback on eBay, from what I saw. So I don't know.
I'm trying to see when it expires.
It would be right about now because he put it up about a week ago.
No, it's got 4 days left.
Okay.
It is currently sitting at $2,950.
Great. Well, we'll be looking for our cut from the sales for mentioning it here on this
No joke.
incredibly popular podcast.
28 people watching it.
Ridiculous.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty wild.
Fascinating.
Indeed.
Congrats, Will.
Yeah. Good on you.
Shit.
Video games.
Hey. Yeah.
Not much out
Yeah.
this weekend?
No,
I mean, this week?
It's getting there.
I don't know what we played this weekend, but it's probably more of the same.
Did I say, yeah, I talked about Spider-Man last week.
Yeah.
The Capcom Beat 'em Up
bundle.
Is that out?
It is
yeah,
out.
it's out today.
Yeah,
Okay.
as of today, it is out.
Yeah.
7 of the hottest.
7 of the existingest.
Yeah, true. 7 of the beat 'em ups that they could get the licenses to. It's
yeah.
been like
7
re-released.
7 non-licensed
These aren't
brawlers.
Capcom games?
Yep, Capcom. So what do we got? We got
Anybody?
Final Fight, of course.
Yes.
Armored Warriors, Warriors of Fate, Captain Commando,
Battle
Circuit,
Knights of the Round.
and Knights of the Round. Yeah.
I've heard of one of those. Holy shit.
Is that all of them? Yeah, I think that's all of
That
them.
might. Is that,
I had
but
not
I think that
even
might
heard
be
of
Those are
6.
those are mostly my favorites. With the exception of like Aliens vs Predator.
Yeah.
Talking about these SNES games?
Any of the licensed stuff.
Arcade
arcade.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the arcade releases. A lot of them haven't been released.
Yeah, like 2 of these, like Armored Warriors and Battle Circuit,
Battle
I think
Circuit
have never
hasn't
been released in
What
any other
platform is this
form.
for? Switch, I assume?
This is all over the place. So
PC.
PS4. I think it's on
Switch.
Xbox, Switch
Yeah.
for sure.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I
Which-
played quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
The first thing that I go into is I check out like the gallery stuff, like to see what kind of like additional packaging they have for this or additional value or whatever. Kind of light, they've got some like development art and shit like that, and they,
I feel
they
like
do
I've
have like the
seen
art.
most of it already.
Yeah.
Like I looked through the Final Fight stuff and I was like, "Yep." That's
Some
it.
of the stuff that I hadn't seen is like
Yeah.
high res of like the instructions, that are right above the controls.
Yep.
That was really cool.
Mhm.
But like no sound test or anything like that. No like collection.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's in there with infinite continues. There's no, the achievements, like the trophies. I played it on PS4. Like the trophies are extremely basic.
Really?
Like they didn't really go. It does have online play. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, and you can
'cause the
select
game
by
wasn't out.
region and shit like that. But
Yeah, you can like play the Japanese version of Final Fight if you so choose.
Whatever. I don't think I need to.
Yeah, it seems very bare bones, especially when you consider like that they did like that Mega Man Legacy collection.
Yeah.
Well, this is a different developer. This is just Capcom proper that did this. Not a Digital Eclipse thing, but
Still.
Capcom themselves have published better things than this. So this just feels real tossed together to me. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. It's the major titles though. It's a really good bundle. Like I like all of these games. I don't think they're bad games. Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's a super good value. As opposed to something like the Street Fighter one that was released just recently, the 30th anniversary. Whereas that one was what $40. I want to say.
I think that's right.
Jeez, yeah, that was an awful lot. So.
And this is what is this?
I want to say 20. Is that right?
I don't actually.
I can find out.
I do not know.
think so.
Was it 15 or 20?
Either way.
Yeah, it's
I would
and I guess
it's
like if you launch an online game out of the gate, I think people can kind of drop in, drop out from that point.
Yeah, you choose whether you want to play offline or online right away before you even go in.
The Steam version of this got delayed.
Oh, weird.
Oh, bummer.
What else is it on?
Switch, PS4.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's on Xbox as well, but I don't know for certain. I also playing on the PS4. I noticed some input lag.
Really?
I played all the way through Final Fight, and it just didn't feel right.
Playing on Switch, I didn't
$20.
really notice. $20.
Oh, $20. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. I was using Joy-Cons though, and those can be kind of laggy.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm used to playing these on like a fucking computer.
Right. Yeah.
Emulated or whatever. Like Battle Circuit or something like that. So it's tough to say whether or not there's input lag.
I went back and forth between a accurate emulator on the PC and this.
And it felt pretty laggy to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to give it a shot on the PS4.
Yeah, I want to give it a shot on our TVs here, or just see if it was something like, or see the Switch version because you've been playing that to see if it feels any different. But just I don't know.
Do you think it's a deal breaker for you? Or
I mean, like these games aren't so precise that you really need.
Yeah, you can get kind of mashy with them,
but it doesn't feel great.
Right. No, I get that.
So I don't know. I think between it just not between it feeling a little off, and like the bare bones gallery stuff. It doesn't seem like as far as retro packages go, it just seems like this stuff has been done so much better in so many other places. Not these games particularly, but just conceptually. Conceptually, it just seems like you could do a better job of like preserving and documenting and all other stuff.
Totally, yeah. And I always expect a lot out of collections like this. If it's a re-release of something, but these are some of these games are the first time that we're getting a chance to play them at home, which is. Man, fucking Battle Circuit's a great game. Like that's a really, really fun game.
I hadn't played much of it prior to this, so I played through some chunk of it.
There's some zany shit going on in there, and man, $20 for this
really
bundle, I think is I don't know.
Kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like it was going to be announced at that Nintendo Direct, probably. Yeah. The ill-fated one.
I think they did still announce it there, didn't they?
I think so.
So it ended up being like announced a couple days before it came out or whatever, but.
I don't know, man. Like, even if they don't have, a ton of the collector's stuff that I kind of look for, I think this is a great bundle and it's a really good price. I
want to see how the online works before I would say one way or the other on that, because that would be nice to have.
Yeah, I wonder what the local options are for Switch as well. I'm curious. Like how many controllers you can sync up. More than likely.
Yank those Joy-Cons off.
Yeah, totally. That'd be cool. Man, I just want to play through all of those. Like, just having, all these set to free play. Yeah. It's been a hot minute since I played a lot of these.
It's a lot of beat 'em up.
You forget.
That is, but I
guess they're all super short.
Yeah. You could burn through like one in an hour.
You forget just how like Final Fight's kind of bullshit near the end.
Yep.
The way they start really throwing enemies at you in that final level before you get up to the last guy.
Are you telling me?
I'm telling you that maybe they wanted you to spend some money on that
out
thing.
for my quarters.
It was designed in such a way to extract money.
Yeah, it's got some difficulty settings and stuff too, but it's I don't know.
That's a cool thing.
I really want to see that SNK 40th collection.
Yeah.
That's coming up here.
Was that
about a month? I think.
Does that have anything
It's all
to do
pre.
with
It's
the
all pre Neo
tiny
Geo.
thing?
No, it's pre Neo Geo stuff.
Totally. Oh. God, what even is that?
Was it like Vanguard, Akari Warriors?
Akari Warriors. Trying to think like what
Athena.
What would fill out that list?
All those shooters.
Let's see if I can find. Okay, list of games by SNK. Neo Geo was like what, early 90s?
Yeah, maybe like late 80s.
Have they put it on
Might
the
have might have been
list
89.
for that collection?
No, it's probably like 90.
Let's see.
I don't know. Yeah, you should look at the list for the collection because I think they've listed all of them by now. Because I'm excited about that.
This press release does not have a full list.
Yeah, it seems like the ones that weren't included. There's like I don't think there's room for another like a volume 2 of this.
Of this Capcom thing? Yeah, unless they went out and did all the licensing work to get.
So like there's like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
There's the 2 D&D games. There's
Which they've re-released. They did
they've
the work
re-released
at,
those
at one point.
but man, I would love to play Aliens vs.
You know,
Predator.
if you wanted to dip into the console stuff, there are more Final Fight games that exist only there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Those never counted to me. I don't know.
Some of them didn't have Guy in it, so I'm like,
Well,
screw
I mean,
that.
shit, man. That's
Why would you play that?
That's just because you don't need Guy is the worst character of Final Fight.
That is
But
wrong.
he's the most
That is
ninja-like.
wrong.
He's
Those
the
fucking
he's the
sweet
most
kicks.
needless.
Unbelievable.
When you've got Cody
Fuck.
and you've got Hagar, who needs Guy?
Cody's a
need-
middle of the road, like generic, like white T-shirt wearing motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need a
Cody,
guy-
You need a guy that punches and kicks. Every game
Fast
needs.
and does hurricane kicks with cool fucking sneakers.
You need
Cody
a guy
is fast enough.
You need
He's
a guy
fast
with
enough.
finesse.
Uh-huh.
You need a guy who's agile.
No.
That guy is Guy.
No. Play Final Fight Guy if you want that bullshit. Go get that version of
I
it.
do
see,
want that shit.
See, they realized their error and they made a game with just Guy in it.
No, that was like, okay, we hear you, idiots. We're putting this other one out. Didn't that one not have Cody in it? Wasn't
I think
was
so.
it Guy and
I think
Hagar
so,
at that
yeah.
point?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Hey, we just can't fit all 3 characters into these cartridges.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know. This SNK 40th anniversary site says more games to be announced.
Okay,
It
maybe
only has 13 games listed right now.
Okay.
Alpha Mission.
Yeah, it's a shooter.
It's all the logos. Some of these are hard to read. Athena,
Yeah, Athena's
Crystallis.
all right.
Some of these
man.
say actually the majority of them say home and arcade
Yeah.
versions.
Yeah, like
So I guess you're going to get
it's like
probably
Crystallis
arcade
wasn't
and
arcade, was
Right.
it?
well, that one says home version only, because
Okay.
I think that's only NES. But a lot of these, like Akari Warriors, Victory Road, Akari 3, The Rescue.
Are those all home and arcade?
Yes,
That's cool because the NES version of Akari Warriors is
Very
fucking
different.
weird.
Gorilla, POW,
Yeah.
Shit.
Prehistoric Isle.
Oh, yeah.
So these last 5 are arcade only. Prehistoric Isle, Psycho Soldier, Street Smart, TNK 3,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
I think it's a shooter.
and
It's like
Vanguard.
a tank shooter. Vanguard. I like the music in Vanguard a lot.
Oh, is this Switch only?
It might.
That's the only
Might be.
console logo on this webpage.
I don't actually know for
Huh.
sure, but it might be. It might only be on Switch.
The last thing I will say is we got to talking about beat 'em ups on that. What's the name of that carrot-based beat 'em up?
Oh,
Ninjin.
On that quick look
Ninjin.
we
Yeah,
were talking
Clash
about,
of Carrots.
and
yeah.
I couldn't remember the name of that Marvel beat 'em up that I liked.
That
I
was
found it. It's Captain America and the Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody,
made by Data
Hades.
East,
Yeah.
I'm
which
like,
I-
Hawkeye. What? Like a Hawkeye only game?
which
What?
my 12-year-old
nuts?
self contends is a very good game, but I don't actually know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean the speech is really good, if nothing else. No, that was a good game. The
I remember-
the movie theater had that.
Yeah.
You could block. You could hold down the attack button.
Yeah,
and Captain
with-
America would put
with
up
every
a shield.
character or just Captain
Yeah, I think
America?
I want to say every character.
I feel
had
like they all
block, but I
had
don't
like
know.
pretty different.
I only played
abilities.
as Captain America.
I
so I don't
played.
know.
I remember playing Hawkeye a lot because he could shoot
Yeah.
a projectile, and that was fun.
That sounds cool.
I can't move. Like, yeah. No, this-
Wow,
all
yeah,
all the dialogue
jeez.
in that game is
That-
fucking fantastic.
coming back to you.
That fucking brings back memories. Huh. Okay then.
That Ninja game's pretty
It's
good.
okay.
Yeah, it's
It's-
interesting.
it's-
Like it's presented like a beat 'em up, but it actually plays more like a shmup than anything.
Like it's
yeah.
kind of a scrolling game with a
Yeah.
lot of pattern dodging stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
thought
of,
it was an interesting twist.
It seemed almost like a level in Renegade where you're on a motorcycle
Yep.
or something.
Yeah,
where
a lot
you're
of
just
that.
like, okay, these
Well,
enemies
way
are kind
more
of coming up
options,
with way more options, way more. Yeah, once I
Yeah,
saw
because
it,
you
had
could
like
dodge through stuff, and you had
I mean, it's got like a
super
loadout
attacks.
screen between levels, right? Like you're kind of taking different items.
Yeah,
in
you
or
can get
whatever.
loot in the game and
Yeah.
stuff, like larger weapons that do more damage, but they're slower, or they have longer range, whatever, or like projectiles that actually go through enemies. And there's some neat stuff going on in that. It was cool. was fun to play.
What else y'all playing?
Just Mr. Do all day long.
That's right.
No, I don't know.
Mr. Do, Mr. Does.
Yeah. I have been keeping up with Destiny.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure
really
listeners of this podcast will be thrilled to hear that I have been getting way back into Destiny.
Last week, that whole unlock thing where they unlocked accidentally on Saturday, Tuesday came around.
Oh, well, they fixed it.
They fixed it on Thursday.
Yeah, but they gave the gear out to people who had gotten screwed by the bug.
Well, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I thought that the stuff they did with the raid of just like, okay, these like now that the world first has happened, the world changes for all players is like a really cool.
It was
concept.
a cool idea. Like they held a whole strike back behind the completion of the raid
Yeah.
because it had to do with the story of the raid.
Yeah,
and that strike is really impressive.
Do you know if they changed the raid at all? So like, if you're not the
Oh,
canonical fire team that completed the raid, what are you doing?
That seems insane because they would literally be making content for 6 people.
Well, you know, at that point, like, you know, if I'm
it's
saying
a cool
like
idea.
the changes would be minor
Yeah,
at that point,
sure.
or
Maybe
something,
some dialogue or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Or like, hey, the final enemy is a different color because it's a ghost of the thing.
Yeah, but for people that haven't seen it, after the first team finished the raid, when you go back to the new zone for the first time after that, you get a big cutscene talking about what happened in the raid. And it's narrated by one of the characters, and like things happen in the game world based on the outcome of that stuff. It's neat.
Yeah, it's a neat idea.
It's a cool idea.
And nobody knew before they finished it. I don't think that was
right. No, instead it was just like, oh, they gave us this other zone, but there sure isn't a lot to do in it.
Yeah.
And now it seems like there's slightly more.
Are you guys on the GB Destiny Discord?
Yes.
I'm on 2 different ones, and they're both really active.
Yeah, they're super active. But there was a lot of discussion in there yesterday about raid stats. As of yesterday morning, there had only been 71 worldwide completions of the raid.
Wow.
And I think the Xbox had 2.
Yeah.
And they were saying like primarily the people finishing it are like full-time Destiny streamers.
Yeah.
Just because for level requirements, the gear requirements are so insane for this raid.
What do you need to be to get in?
They were saying, I think 550 is what it says on the thing, but apparently the first boss encounter is 560. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm 515.
You have to be like a full-time Destiny player to be ready for it right now. It's crazy.
I mean, they added all the dailies. Like there are more ways to get the powerful gear upgrades than there were before. So I guess I could see if you were really fucking grinding it out, you could get there. But
like I've been playing what I would say is a fair amount, and I'm not even 530 yet. Like I'm getting close to it. But there's a lot. Like there's a ton of stuff to do in that game. Like there is no shortage of stuff to discover. Like I
think my main issue now is that they added all these bounties, but all the characters are spread throughout the world. And
the bounty stuff.
Some of them were really tough to find too. Like the ones that are in lost sectors, I always have to go to find a map and figure out like.
Oh yeah, because they just say like, hey, you need to go to this area and this area on Io, and I'm like,
they always say which area of the map it is. And if you look at the map, they're labeled.
There's usually
does it go to that?
Yeah, there's usually only one lost sector per area.
They don't always though. Sometimes they'll say like the name of a lost sector, and they don't have the lost sector names on the map, so you have to really.
It depends on which kind of bounty. Yeah, but they usually say which area.
Yeah, I found sometimes to be like
for me, it's more been just like, hey, it's like on console the load times are very long, and
like having
loading into the city
to go to the tower
to pick
every
up
time.
9 bounties and then go out and do shit. Or then, I need to go to the one guy on this planet to get these 3 bounties here.
The bounty system needs an overhaul pretty bad. Like you also need like just a display of here's all your bounties and here are the timers on them and here's what's about to expire.
Oh, that'd be
because right now you have to just kind of mouse over everything to see like, oh shit, I have 2 hours left to finish this.
It feels like they kind of like
they just sort of hacked it into the inventory.
The inventory stuff a little bit.
That stuff is kind of crappy, but
whatever. Destiny's good.
It got good again. Like it's weird. It got weird again. Like I had been like just screwing around in the Dreaming City. You get a lot of drops of weird items that you don't know the purpose of, and I had gotten these things called a small gift, which looked like a little saucer of something. Yeah. And then I find out last night that there are these little cats scattered all over the place. Yeah, you go up to one of those cats and give it the saucer, and it gives you like unique gear that you can't get otherwise. It's weird.
Yeah,
strange stuff.
It's fun.
They've always been big into weird Easter eggs in that game.
Yeah, they've got more of that. But going into like week, what is this, 3?
I guess so. Yeah,
I think so.
This thing's been out. I'm definitely hitting the point now of like, all right, what am I actually increasing this number for?
Yeah,
like I've done all the content. I've done every strike like twice at least.
There are still strikes I haven't done, but there's definitely that feeling of just like, well, are we going to raid or are we not going to raid?
That's kind of the thing. Now it's like, all right, I need a purpose beyond just making this number bigger.
Yeah,
like I need to apply that to something. But Gambit's fun.
It is. Yeah,
it's a fun game to play.
And there's stuff like just like the various like what the Did you do the Ace of Spades stuff?
No,
Fuck no.
no,
So there's
that's
like-
a tough one.
Because the first
I think I've
step of
only got-
that is get 5 kills in 5 player kills in Gambit
On
mode.
invaders.
They have to be invading your team, not the other way around.
I
You
thought
can't
it said
no.
invasion kills. I thought
yeah.
that meant that
No,
you could be
See,
invading.
a lot of
That
people are very
confused-
confused about this.
Yeah,
That
that's
confused a lot of
fucking
people.
wild.
You can only kill people who are invading your team
when you have to use a hand cannon.
And so the thing is
all right,
that when they come through, they're overshielded and they have all their
Yeah.
stuff. So
So a
really,
hand cannon
you
is-
kind of have to duo up and have somebody weaken them for you to get the headshot.
You kind of just have to
on.
get a lucky scenario. I
Man.
think I've got 2 out of the 5 right now.
I saw that.
do it
fucking
as a
thing.
clan or something. Yeah.
I saw that fucking thing and said, nope. I hear the gun is great, but I was
Yeah,
like,
people
I'm
seem
not
way
gonna.
into it. What's the shotgun that Holloway gives you? The Chaperone. I understand that's a good fun quest and a good shotgun to get.
No,
If you want to go after a different exotic and not the hand cannon.
Oh,
that's
right. Chaperone.
That's supposed to be a good one.
I did pick up that quest. I don't know that I.
Yeah, I saw what's the black sniper rifle one that
Oh,
everybody.
the
Black Spindle?
Whisper of the
No,
Worm.
no.
Something like that.
It is the
That's-
new Black Spindle.
oh,
It's got
yeah,
basically the
God.
same perk on it, but
Look the
that
same.
mission sounds insane. I
Yeah.
have not even tried to do that yet.
I've had offers of people to get me through, and I looked at
Yeah.
it and just like, man, Destiny and WoW are both the same kind of like log on for half an hour and get my fill, and then do something else.
Like that's the biggest thing I'll give them credit for in this is that you can play it that way now.
Yeah.
And it's actually rewarding.
Yeah, like
you
adding
can-
the daily quests and stuff and having some of that stuff repopulate every day. Like you can kind of log in for half an hour and make some progress and say like, cool, I'm done.
Yep.
I'm good. And that's nice.
And by playing that way, you'll kind of naturally fill in the weekly bounties. So toward the end of
Right.
the week, you'll also complete those. Like
Yeah,
you can
it's-
play that game casually and have a good time.
Those
with
are smart changes.
Yeah.
So that stuff's cool.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've been playing that. What else? Oh, speaking of old games, Pinball FX 3. So they got that Williams pinball license.
There was some big news about this.
Oh,
where
hang
they-
on. Is that the same? That's the same license that Pinball Arcade.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
arcade. Yeah,
God,
so
when did that happen?
That
man.
was
Last
why
week,
it happened. is
Oh, and I'm sure
because-
that's why. But like, did that just get announced? Or
it was
this
like
an
last
own-
week or week before.
Yeah.
or
Okay,
something
yeah,
like
I
that.
totally
So,
missed
yeah.
that. Holy crap.
So Zen Studios now has the license to those Williams tables.
Okay.
And so
So
they
we
are
have to go out and buy those things all over again.
exactly.
Well, if you bought them for Pinball Arcade, you have them.
yes, you
forever.
still have them, and they're better there,
Yeah.
or they're probably going to be better there, I guess. So they announced October 9th, I think, is when the first pack is going to come out. It's like 4 tables for $10, or it's 3 tables for $10. 1 will be free. It's like Fish Tales, Medieval Madness, High Speed 2, and a 4th that I cannot remember. Anyway, they have a beta branch on Steam right now that will let you try out the tables.
That's cool.
And it bummed me out. So I guess like in the final version, they will have remastered and original, and these are only the remastered. But it was just like, here's this pinball table that you know very well, but now there's a polygonal cop standing on top of it because it's a speeding themed thing, and it's just like, so they Zen pinballed them up, they pinball effects them up in ways that you're just like, I don't need this shit. Also,
Well,
the
I mean-
physics are still bad.
Yeah.
As bad as they've been throughout the entire run of that. So like
Classic
playing it,
tables are still there, though, right?
so yeah, that's in the beta branch. It's only the remastered tables. It's not the classic ones. I reread their information. I was like, okay, so when this comes out, maybe you'll be able to turn all that crap off. But even still, unless that crap includes their physics, I'm still gonna keep Pinball Arcade installed. Like I don't. It's
Have you ever
just
talked to
not-
them directly about that stuff?
Not. I mean.
Have they ever
I
reached out?
had been drinking and ran into. I maybe made some snide remarks while drunk at a PAX
Okay.
that I don't know if anyone other than me remembers, but I don't know.
Okay. Huh. All right.
Yeah. You can find people on their Steam forums complaining about the
About the same
physics
stuff. Okay. So hopefully,
which was a nice verification. Okay, it's not just me.
aren't they kind of local?
I don't know.
I thought they were close.
I don't know. I think their development studio is in a different country.
Okay. Okay.
But
maybe
but
it's
I don't.
just some of their like publishing or PR is close by or
I
something.
don't actually know. But I wish they would fix that stuff because it's a shame that they have the rights to such classic pinball tables and they will put them into this framework that is not fun. They've built all this really cool stuff. Like you earn XP. Like
Yeah.
Pinball FX3 is an amazing pinball platform in everything except for the ball physics and a lot of their table design. A lot of their unique their specific table design I think is pretty lame. But
But a good rapper.
yes, a great wrapper
Huh.
to go around it. And now they're going to finally get good tables. And it's really frustrating.
Maybe this is the thing that gets them there, though.
I'd hope.
Like, all right,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have a responsibility now.
Yes, you would think. I would have thought that this would have happened by now, though, if they were going to do it. So I don't really know. The ball just feels light. It just feels like bouncy. It doesn't feel like a real pinball. So yeah, I messed around with that, and I've been chipping away at Spider-Man. And
yeah, same here. Like I will definitely finish that game, probably 100% it, just because it seems like you get most of the way there anyway.
Yeah.
Like might as well. That's a fun game to play.
I don't
want it to overstay its welcome though.
Yeah,
I don't
did
want
you
to
get the platinum?
No,
You did not.
No.
Okay.
I don't know that I will. Like I don't feel like getting 100% like in every district or anything like that. Like I said, I don't want it to overstay its welcome.
I don't know.
I love it as it is.
Yeah. That's fine.
But the rest of the stuff is just like stuff that I've already done before.
If you're done with it, that's totally fine.
Every time I load it up, I'm just not sure what I want to do.
Yep.
I've been chipping away at it little by little, but like sometimes I'll load it up and just do side stuff. Sometimes I'll load it up and do like a story mission or two.
Yeah.
And I'm not really satisfied with either. I just think I'm unlocking more of the combat stuff. I just don't think I like the combat in that game.
It's fine.
I think it's good.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
I like the once there's
but-
a lot of variety in play, I have fun.
Yeah.
Building pretty crazy combos and stuff.
Yeah, like you can really stretch those combos out, but
Totally,
it just I don't know. It just
That's
seems
where I've had the
monotonous.
most fun is you can play it completely monotonously and just like the same combo over and over and over.
I'm not
but-
doing that. Like
Really?
I'm unlocking the stuff. I'm pulling guns away from guys. Like I'm
Yeah.
doing all the shit, and it's just like, all right, yeah. It just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel as tight as the Batman games did.
I think I would probably agree with that.
And it feels a little all over the place. Part of it's just the nature, like I said a couple weeks ago, like the nature of Spider-Man is he is kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And so camera is going to be a different
Yeah,
situation.
they've
stuff.
moved into a bigger environment.
Yeah.
They've got more off the wall type stuff.
It's just kind of a pain in the ass. Like it's not like difficult. It's just like I don't know. I'm just not really liking the combat much. And I thought that as I fleshed it out and like, okay, now I can pull guns away from these fuckers and do this and do that, and nah, it's just I don't know, kind of boring.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think I'm very slowly moving through the story, but I think the writing is the thing that's actually surprised me the most about that game. Like the story is extremely well told. Like every character interaction is believable, and like they flesh people out well.
I like that they. I mean, whatever. We've gotten to a point where like really good games or really expensive games can
afford good
emotion really well and facial animation a lot better in a way that makes that cinematic stuff work because you're like, oh, like right away who the bad guy is in that story because the first time they have that interaction you're like every look on its face is like, okay, here it is, but Peter doesn't know that, and I think that's fun. In the same way it is in a movie where exactly who the fucking bad guy is before you go in and all that sort of stuff. That stuff's really well done.
I think that like when you mention that stuff, that's part of the reason I've kind of stalled out on Shadow of the Tomb Raider because it does not go the distance with a lot of those elements, those little elements. Like I don't know, it almost feels mean to criticize the game in that way. It's just like, oh, the facial animations aren't that great, and like
that's if you
it
think
feels
about
like they cut a lot of corners on the little, but it's polished stuff. It's the stuff that games like Uncharted or Spider-Man do really well, and this game does not do as well. And it's like, they maybe just didn't have the people or the budget to add that stuff. But like, I feel like when the game has pretensions of being in that league,
it's
in that league. It tries to be in that league of cinematic action.
The story they're
game.
trying to tell, like the nuance to the story of, hey, Lara, this might all be your fault.
Right.
Is something that works a lot better if you've got that nuance and those little things. Without it, it becomes very ham-fisted.
Like I feel nitpicky when I watch cutscenes, and I'm like, oh, you know what? The eye lines don't look like they quite match up right, and that makes it harder to believe this stuff. But like, I think 5 or 10 years ago, who would have cared?
Right?
Nobody cared.
But even if you're not picking that stuff out, all that stuff does eventually add up to a feeling of just like, this feels off.
Yeah,
Either you can pinpoint why or not.
Yes, off is a good, and it's like when I list it out, it sounds so nitpicky. Like I jumped off a cliff into a pool or a stream or something at one point, and there was no splash sound effect.
Yeah,
like that sounds incredibly nitpicky. But when stuff like that is happening every 10 minutes or whatever,
when there's like just another thing, another thing,
they make a big deal out of that mud tech. You remember the mud from, and it looks cool. Like you walk around in mud, and there's like big trails where you've been trudging through it and stuff. Then you come out of the mud, and you're completely clean.
Yeah,
and it's not a big deal in a vacuum, but but when it's one thing after another like that, like
Batman was ripping his suit. 5 games ago, a generation ago, the basketball players were sweating up a storm 10 years ago. Do
you feel it's like a step back from Rise?
That's kind of where
Rise,
I'm at.
When she got out of the water, she would like do this ponytail thing.
But she does that in this. There's still some of that stuff.
Wet and dry, and
there's definitely still plenty of attention to detail. Like the environment art is incredible. Like it is a very good looking game in a broad sense. It's just in the details it feels like it doesn't quite bring it.
And also, well, it just seems like in terms of, hey, this is the third game. Like maybe just from a gameplay perspective.
I mean, I saw there were some comments on the quick look like, hey, you guys didn't criticize Uncharted as much for being more of the same as you are this, but like, but in reality, this is kind of like more of the same, but not as polished. So in that sense, it feels like
it's like slightly worse than the previous game.
Also, how many times did we say that like we don't need more Uncharted after 4 got announced? I think we knocked that game plenty for being more of that.
Yeah, for sure.
What else is going on?
Door kickers.
Oh yeah,
subtitle I forgot. Unfortunately,
the 2D.
I want to say it starts with an A or something, but
Assault Squad or something. If you don't mind looking that up real quick. So I love door kickers. I don't know if you ever played any of it, Jeff.
I always meant to, but
top
never
down
really,
2D assault and infiltration kind of cop game. That must have been 14 or 15.
Yeah, 2014.
They announced Door Kickers 2 with the same engine, top down, everything like that a while ago. Still hasn't come out. But this is, I believe, from the same people. It's a 2D Broforce style-esque.
From the side.
From a side, side kind of
Side scrolling.
Side scrolling, but but it's more vertical than anything else. It's hard to really describe it. Broforce is probably the closest thing I can get to, but
you don't mean tonally like Broforce though,
it's
right?
Definitely kicked up, satirical kind of. Not there's no like dialogue or anything like really over the top like that, but they definitely in their marketing and everything like that, they definitely make it look more like a jokey kind of thing. It's neat. It's really neat. It's not the Door Kickers 2 that I wanted, but it is it's you kind of have the same kind of character select where you have different abilities. The default guy just has like a submachine gun. You're, kicking doors open, rescuing hostages. You're gaining points as you go through a level, and you get various like upgrades that you can select. So if you rescue enough hostages, you can max out like this 8 little slot thing. Health regeneration, body armor. If you get all the way to the top, you get like a super move, which for the default class is either like a light machine gun or you can snipe 3 people on the screen from anywhere. But it's kind of neat because you go through buildings with hostages. You can't kill the hostages, obviously. You're supposed to kill everybody.
By you can't, you mean you're not supposed to, or you literally cannot?
I've never actually done it.
Okay.
So they can take a few bullets before they die, and I've never actually killed one. So I'm not sure if that's an instant mission fail or not. But you are definitely supposed to rescue them.
Yeah.
But so you can see a lot of the lighted rooms before people can see you because the doors are closed and everything like that. But some doors you kick them 3 times, and if the people on the other side hear them, they'll come to the door and you can stun them by kicking it open and shooting them all. It's really neat. It's like I said, it's not Door Kickers 2 that I wanted because I really did like Door Kickers 1, but I've been playing kind of. It looks like there's plenty of levels. I haven't gotten to the point like I did in Door Kickers where Door Kickers 1 top down was a lot of pause and planning. This has very little of that.
Very tactical. This one seems a little more arcadey or action oriented.
Yeah, it's arcade action. There's no pausing. There's no planning or anything like that. You do have co-op, which I'm curious to try at some point. But there's a point in Door Kickers 1 where I got to just the difficulty went off the rails and I couldn't proceed. And it was pretty early on for me. I've seen some high level Door Kickers play on YouTube. So far, I haven't gotten quite there yet in this one. Did you get the subtitle? I forget what it was.
Yeah.
I totally blanked on it. Yeah. I want to
believe it's Action Squad.
That sounds
close that
right.
tab, but I think that's
seems telling.
That is kind of what I've been dicking around with, and it's pretty fun for what it is. I mean, there's a lot of 2D arcade shooter kind of stuff out there, but I'm just now curious whatever happened to Door Kickers 2 because I really wanted to play that, and I know they announced it was going to be like a 3D engine, still top down, but I haven't heard much about it. And this
it seems like they announced that a long time ago.
I want to say like around the same time that Door Kickers came out. They said the sequel would be out like the year after, and it still hasn't arrived. So this is definitely not built on any of that work. But yeah, so I've been kind of fooling around with a little. I did WoW last Tuesday, and I kind of logged off, and I haven't really logged in yet. And from what I'm hearing from a lot of people, that's kind of a lot of the community.
Yeah, after you said you feel like this expansion is disappointing, I feel like that sentiment is starting to bubble up.
I started a thread on the forums, and I've read other forum threads where I'm not trying to speak for the community or anything like that, but I'm hearing a lot of dissatisfaction in terms of you get to the max level and it's kind of just nothing to do. So that's my weekly WoW update.
All right.
Yeah, I've only played like a couple hours this week, which for me is pretty rare. And my good friend Justin, who is the hardest of hardcore WoW players, like not in terms of rating or anything like that, but plays a lot more than me, and he's actually, unemployed at the moment, so he's got every reason to keep on playing.
Yeah.
He's even talking about letting his subscription lapse. So it's one of those. WoW's in a weird state, and I guess a lot's going to rely on the 8.1 patch coming up to see if people can get back on the horse, because it feels like a lot of people are just kind of logging off.
That seems like a patch, like, there's something about the release of an expansion that seems like a big opportunity to get people in. Like the hey, we're going to patch this.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like the sort of thing that necessarily brings people back if they've already bounced off.
Well, the content patches are always the big ones. 8.0 has a bunch of patches between.
Sure,
They introduced raid bosses in Mythic and LFR. I did an LFR last week, which is the raid for dummies. And it's fun enough, but it just feels like there's not a huge amount of content for anybody to do at the end game. That just feels, again, not trying to sum up the community zeitgeist, but it just feels like there's a lot of bored people with it.
This is the big reset, right? They go back to orcs versus humans. Now they got to build it all back up.
And the weird thing
for
now
another
is
14 years.
When
Truck Stick next year, it's gonna be pretty exciting.
When Legion came out, they already had like a preview of the first content patch. As of now, we have no idea what 8.1 is. We don't know if there's going to be another raid in that one or anything. So a lot of people are just pretty. It seems like a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of grumbling, and it seems like they really need to do something big to get people back in. So
Bummer.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll check back in a month or two.
I didn't get to play that much other stuff because I was on the road a little bit, but I did mess around a little bit with that Call of Duty beta again. It has since shut down, at least on PS4. I don't know if they're still running on
and
PC
they
and Xbox,
got up to 100 players,
they did,
right?
in the final hours. They raised it to 88 around the time we recorded our video with it, which is up now if you want to see it. And I guess like towards the end, they were like, hey, what if we add another 12? Well, there you go, 100 people, let's go. So I don't know, people seem to be into it.
Yeah, that seemed
I've heard a lot
very
of good
positive.
things about it,
Yeah, people, it's funny because, like, when you just hear the slightest bits of behind the scenes stuff about how this thing came together or is still coming together, combined with like people's reaction to it, like, man, it's finally nice to see one of these games with some polish on it. And you're like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess when you're bringing in a decade of polish from an existing franchise and drop it into this thing.
Fortnite's pretty polished, isn't it?
Yes,
but I guess it's kind of different enough.
It is different.
Like, this is it's not modern military.
Yeah.
They already announced that Call of Duty 2019 is going to have a Battle Royale mode to it, I think. I'm pretty sure they already said that.
I mean, this is the most people have talked about Call of Duty in 5 years.
Yeah,
so.
I played a little bit more of it. It didn't dramatically change other than the player count going up. And they had like kill cams and like they patched in meaningful stuff over the course of it and tried out a few things like, hey, what if the circle closed in twice as fast and little shit like that as they were fucking around with it. And yeah, I don't know. It definitely has people talking about this game in a way that people haven't talked about Call of Duty in a good long time. So I'll be curious to see what it does. The game's out in like a month. Yeah. So
I guess I was expecting more negative comments. Call of Duty is just a very fast-paced, like short-range kind of game.
Yeah.
And the pace is completely different in this.
Totally. But the encounters still often happen at a range that is somewhat reasonable for Call of Duty. Like you're still. It feels like it. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Because the thing about Battlegrounds on Xbox is that just because of the way that game has traditionally performed, and I should state that I haven't played it since it went 1.0 on Xbox. Okay. My understanding is that the performance has improved. But just between everyone playing on a controller and the performance maybe being not as being good as the PC. Like the long range fights of Battlegrounds on PC just kind of don't happen. So assault rifles and shotguns and weapons that you don't normally think of as being as viable became more viable in the Xbox version of the game. So Call of Duty taking place at those sorts of ranges already and not necessarily being a sniper game in the past, like it kind of feels well suited for it, but the map doesn't always feel well suited for those types of encounters, which is maybe the weird part.
Yeah.
And I guess like I'm not sure that I have this right. I was doing a little bit of reading on it, and my understanding is that the ballistics modeling is something that only takes place over a certain distance. So at certain ranges, they build it like Call of Duty, so it feels like Call of Duty. But there is still something of a long game in there that they are trying to model, which is a fascinating approach.
Yeah.
I want to read more about it and see what they're doing because that sounds kind of cool. I don't know. I'll be fascinated to see how it does. It still feels like weird. You know, we said in the video, like the very idea of Call of Duty being like, you know, like the leading shooting game now suddenly feeling like it is very directly making something that is aping Battlegrounds in so many ways.
I mean, you can't remain like the innovator forever, right?
Totally.
They've had a decade run.
Something like it feels like an okay take on the mode, and people seem excited about it, but also like part of it just feels like this weird changing of the guard to me of just like, yep,
totally.
There you go, guys, you nailed it for whatever that's worth.
I will say, like, the big litmus test for me was some of the streamers I follow that kind of live in more of a hardcore PC space seemed super positive on it, and I figured they would be kind of among the more discerning players of this thing because they play games of that nature all the time.
And I didn't see the PC version of it at all, so I only played on PS4, so I don't know. But that was definitely the thing of just like, hey, with a mouse and a keyboard on a platform where you could very easily play Battlegrounds or Fortnite or any number of other games in this style, how's it do?
Yeah.
And people seem to be into it.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
yeah, man, we'll see.
Yeah. Last couple things I got, speaking of Battle Royale, I messed around with that Dying Light Bad Blood thing, which they are billing as a Battle Royale thing. We played it on UPF a little bit, but then some people in the comments were like, hang on, it's only 12 players and their objectives. Like, isn't this just a multiplayer mode?
Yeah.
And the circle, as far as I can tell, never contracts or anything.
Oh, weird.
It's
Does it have that Neil Sedaka song in it?
Sadly, not that I saw.
Fuck that.
But I never won a match, so you never know what their reward is for.
Yeah.
I guess it's more of a PvPvE thing, I guess is the terminology.
Right.
Because it is only 12 players, but there are little nests of zombies around, and the objective is to clear out a nest and then extract like plague samples, or so you're sticking a syringe in a giant wart.
It's gross.
And pulling stuff out.
Really gross.
Why? Oh,
and that makes you level up. So there's XP.
Yeah.
Like there's a character, there's a level.
You've seen some shit at that point. Nothing else shakes you once you've sucked things out of a weird zombie wart. You're like, oh yeah, whatever, man.
Yep.
Oh, you shot me? It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
So leveling up gives you more health and stamina. The combat is super melee focused, which in the single player version of that game is fantastic because zombies are stupid and walk into your melee.
Yeah.
In a multiplayer mode, we're all bobbing and weaving, and it's very spammy.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff could be, I don't know, a little better, but they do have the weapon mod stuff, so you can like turn an axe into an electric axe or whatever, stuff like that. And then when you kill somebody, they drop all their plague samples, so you level up off the XP they have collected.
Oh.
And then basically a chopper shows up after a while, and like whoever hits like the threshold of plague samples can extract and win. It's kind of cool, but not. I don't know if
so this isn't tied to the next Dying Light. Is
no,
this
is
totally
built off the original game.
Okay,
like it's totally the assets and like the engine.
Okay,
and
I wasn't
stuff
sure if
for
this was
game.
like some kind of like weird backdoor beta for the.
It's standalone too. It's like $20.
Yeah,
right?
it's $20 early access, like
Fucking weird.
standalone thing.
Yeah, man.
I don't get it now.
The parkour makes it cool though.
Yeah.
Like you're very mobile, you can get around very quickly.
I mean, think about it. Like if you're a studio sitting around on like Call of Duty is not an entirely dissimilar situation where like we've got all these assets sitting around. This mode is extremely hot.
They announced this though like a long time ago.
Yeah,
this has been in the works for a very long time.
So could you take these assets, these systems, these concepts, and adapt it to this popular multiplayer thing? I can't blame.
It's just weird.
People for taking their shot.
Dying Light took. They had the following. The following was the DLC.
Yeah, that was the big expansion.
And then they took like a year off and started doing free DLCs, like one a month, to get people back. And I thought that was going to be built up to. Obviously, it was building up to the Dying Light 2 announcement. But then at the end of it, here's this thing that I've seen videos of it, and I don't think it looks super appealing to me.
It's fun enough. Like for $20, it's not bad.
It's hard not to like in my head connect it to that Dead Island thing that came and went.
Oh man, no.
You know, like because that, yeah. Well, it went. I guess.
Remember Dead Island 2?
No.
I did.
At this point, it's looking like Dying Light 2 will make it out before Dead Island 2.
Yeah, and whatever, man. Dying Light was awesome, and Dying Light 2.
Dying Light 2,
cool
like
too.
I didn't get a ton of chance to talk about it coming out of E3, but that demo looked really good.
Yeah,
that looked fantastic.
That stuff looks great. So
that game, I think, is going to be something.
Hope so.
Last thing is, I came in here wanting to talk about this little puzzle game called The Gardens Between that I've been playing, but then I realized the review embargo was tomorrow morning.
Oops.
So I guess I can't really say much about it other than that I wish I could talk about it.
All right then,
because it's cool. That's my review. I just broke the embargo.
Oh shit!
This game is a cool out of cool.
Wait, so it's the maximum possible score. You are
Perfect.
really fucking up
game.
this embargo bad. Then
we'll have a quick look
Okay.
of that game.
You know what else is cool?
What's that?
Is Frozen Synapse 2.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah.
right. You've been playing that.
Oh man, it's been playing me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I totally forgot that had come about.
Oh no, it's totally fine. I can't forget about it. Have you guys played the first one?
No,
I tried.
Yeah,
I tried to. Yeah.
I went full in, like, deep dive into the first one. So it's like a turn-based tactics game. You direct your units, and then the AI will take their turn. And this one it has a very interesting story mode because the developers are touting it as an open world tactics game where you have the option to turn off all the story missions and to make it as, like, balls hard as possible. So you take control of, like, 1 to 4 or 5 units going against the AI, and most of them are just eliminate all the enemy units or secure the hostages or whatever. But you could get very detailed because you can not only direct your units to go to a certain place and then take the shot, but in between you can tell them, like, all right, from here to here, wait, and then duck, stand back up.
Shit. It's gonna, like, script a sequence of actions.
Totally.
So that's cool.
And so that's, if I remember right, that's like it's time stops.
Yes.
You plan your turns.
Mhm.
The opposing team plans its turns, and then all turns execute at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
Totally.
That sounds like a giant mess.
Yeah.
Oh, it totally becomes a giant mess after a while. But you do have the option to do a long turn. So if you script out one of your units to do a crap ton of actions, like run around the map, peek in through these windows, duck, take fire, instead of the AI or the game stopping you because a significant event happens, it'll play out for the whole duration of the turn, which is fairly interesting if you have a tense situation where some of your units are under fire, one of your other units can save them and flank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could, like, it seems like you could run up to a window and shoot into it, but the other team has moved out of that room completely by the time you get there, so you're just shooting at nothing.
Yeah. So the interesting part is if you drop into a instance while you're fighting, if an enemy unit has a circle around them, you can actually preview what they're actually going to do versus being in the dark about what their actions could be. But even then, the game gets stupid hard because you have the option to preview what could happen based off your actions and based off the enemy actions. But even then, when you actually play out your turn and commit to it, things could go haywire completely. But I'm really enjoying it. The story's a little weird because now there's a whole dealing with factions and everything, people giving you funding, and you have to hire mercenaries and whatnot. But yeah.
It's kind of. I'm sorry.
It sounds a lot like Door Kickers 1, where you
actually.
did script. You can script an entire movement throughout the entire building without doing anything except for the initial, like, kind of like Rainbow Six used to have, scripting for missions and stuff like that. I am terrible at that shit because you have to, you'll have people coming from different doors, 2 doors in the same room, both breaching at the same time. You can trigger them to go at the same time, even if you're not inputting commands. And if you look it up on YouTube, some of the higher level people who can do this kind of stuff really well. I'm talking about old Rainbow Six, not Siege, but that kind of stuff has always been super fascinating to me as somebody who can't do it at all. Every time I try, my entire squad gets wiped out within like 10 seconds. But that kind of stuff is really cool to see people who are good at it do it. I am not one of those people at all.
Neither am I. The thing I don't like is that there's no percentages at all. You don't see, like, hey, if I duck here, like, you have 35% cover, or you have 100% fire or success rate. You're kind of just spraying if you can get there properly.
Spraying or praying or both?
I'm doing a lot of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it just because of the look of the game. Like, it just looks like this like kind of neon virtual battlefield kind of thing. Like, it,
the story
it looks like it takes
that.
place inside a computer, basically.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
The tutorial is really great.
Yeah.
It holds your hand very well.
Okay.
But then it kind of dumps you when you jump into the story.
I might have to give that a shot. It looks super cool.
There is a multiplayer mode where you just trade off taking turns, which is neat, except when you're waiting on a friend to take their turn and spend 5 days.
Is there play by email?
Yeah, play by email.
Oh, yeah. You have to enter in your email.
I remember reading about old Final Fantasy stuff where they all had to coordinate it by mail, like literal letters to each other in the early 80s and stuff like that before the internet, which always sounded like, I mean, chess has been doing that forever too, but we should go back to just handing off postcards and everything.
Destroy your computer. Throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Put your phone in a blender. we'll all be better off.
Buy a new phone. Put that in the blender too.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to take a break and go destroy our phones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back without phones.
Do you like DC?
What?
Do you love DC?
I'm just going to preemptively say yes. but
Are you?
Which DC? Direct current? Is that what we're talking about here?
No, the District of Columbia. Are you what some people might call obsessed with DC?
Maybe. Who's asking? It's not Lex Luthor, is it?
It might. I can't say one way or the other.
He is a master of disguise.
It is DC Universe.
Oh, that. Okay. That's a wide range of DC.
A universe.
It fills a whole universe
of DC.
Huh?
You know, the Batman people.
Right.
The Wonder Woman folks.
Heroes and villains.
Yes, exactly.
You can't have one without the other.
No, it turns out you kind of villains will emerge, a hero will rise. There's a whole thing. They go on a journey. The heroes.
Yes.
DC Universe. It's the only place where you can watch all new live-action Titans, which is premiering this fall.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That sounds big.
That's Titans.
Titanic, capital fact.
Titans. Not to mention Young Justice Outsiders.
Whoa.
Doom Patrol. Swamp Thing.
A lot of Doom out there. Somebody's got to work on it.
Stargirl.
I know Swamp Thing.
And Harley Quinn, which will be coming your way in 2019. New episodes will come out every week, so there's always something new to look forward to. DC Universe has features that you got to see for yourself, like a world-class comic reader that even works on a big screen TV.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's bigger than a comic book.
Reading comic books on a television.
Jumbo-size comic.
Digital comics are...
D-comics.
Yeah, D-comics. E-comics are the way. And now you can check them out on a television.
Maybe is that what DC stands for, digital comics?
Hey, maybe that's what it stands for now, because who knows what a detective is anymore?
Right.
It's a thoughtfully curated, regularly refreshed library of 2,500 modern and classic titles.
That's more than I can read.
That's a lot. And they've got a members-only store full of exclusive merchandise, discussion forums filled with fans and talent discussing all things DC.
Talent, you say?
Yeah, no, that's just another streaming service. Nobody needs that. This is what you might call...
Yes.
The ultimate DC membership.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're like a VIP?
Oh, you have a VIDC.
Wow.
Yeah. It works on iOS and Android devices, as well as Roku, Apple TV, Google Chromecast.
Covering their bases.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Hitting the marks for such a service. You can join in for just $7.99 a month, or better yet, grab a $74.99 annual membership and save 20%. You can join today at dcuniverse.com.
That's a very fizzy drink.
I like it fizzy.
Sometimes they
Fizzy drinks for me.
Those are
That's what they say.
volatile, man.
They can be
You
too
never
fizzy.
know.
Just saying, yeah, sometimes straight out of the machine.
Yeah, these sparkling waters can be like little grenades. I've had them explode all over my car before.
Yep.
Like
I'm not sure if it's a flavor specific or anything like that, but or pressure wise.
dangerously carbonated. They should really capitalize on it.
But you learned. You open up a little bit, check the fizz, then open up all the way and make sure there's nothing wrong.
I thought that's how you always do
No,
it.
I'm
With a
I'm
carbonated.
renegade.
Take it slowly. You gotta ease into that thing.
You ever do that thing where you tap? Some people tap on the top of the.
Yeah,
can.
I don't know if that
feel like
does
that would
anything. It
actually
doesn't seem
work,
like it. I don't understand why that would do anything. But I'm not a fluid scientist.
What if you were?
At least not legally.
I wouldn't be working here.
Too much citrus around here.
Sorry.
Like the lemon and the lime ones are legion here.
I'm a lemon loving motherfucker. You want to do lemon bars?
But they make a berry one that's quite
berry's intense.
It's quite pleasant.
It's the strongest. It's the strongest. Definitely the strongest.
Here?
Yeah.
No way, man.
Strongest flavor.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't dislike the berry one, but
It's all right.
let me tell you about lemon. It smells like clean.
What do you know about lemon?
I want to put wet naps in my mouth
Okay.
because that lemony freshness.
Sure.
I want that inside and out.
What if they made lemon toothpaste?
There you go. Yeah, I'd totally. I'd
No,
give
they
that a
can't-
shot.
no, they
I'd
can't
give
do
it a
that.
shot.
Underserved market.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Hopefully
citrus is really actually bad for your teeth. Like
Yeah, I
my
believe
uncle's a
actually I
dentist,
believe
and he says like you're squeezing. I'm making gin tonics into his house. So the more you lime you squeeze in there, it's worse. For your
My
teeth.
uncle works for
Jesus
Nintendo
Christ.
and he loves lemon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
My uncle could probably not beat up your uncle.
he would know. It's a bold choice of beverage for the news, which we are going to talk about right
All
now.
the latest citrus news
That's right.
coming your way.
Uh-huh. Brought to you by the Lemon Council.
Lemon's good. Reports Lemon Council.
You think there was definitely an orange
There's got to
council.
be
Oh,
some
there has
kind
to
of
be.
lemon authority body.
That are just like, look, man, just why don't you make a lemon meringue pie? Those are good.
Hang on, now I need to find out.
The Lemon Council.
Yeah, there's a lemon party. There's a whole thing.
Yep.
Yep, that's right.
I've seen people bite limes directly from, obviously, tequila wise you do that, but
Right,
I've seen
yeah.
people. My fiance's dad will do it just
Bite into a damn lime.
But I've never seen somebody do that with a lemon that wasn't intentionally like trying to.
Yeah.
Look what I can do, man.
I'm a dumbass. Woo!
Yeah.
Let's see, there's the California Citrus Growers Association,
Mm-hmm.
the Saticoy Lemon Association,
Those sons of bitches.
The lemon lobby.
Dundee Citrus Growers, Florida Citrus. Okay, there's a lot of these.
Yeah, it's a citrus, though. I mean, that's dominated. You think by you see advertisements for oranges all the time,
Yeah.
or orange juice, never for lemons in any kind of except lemon limes.
Lemons just seem like they're like maybe less useful than
Sure.
oranges in their native form, right? I mean, what do you like? You gonna run a commercial
some
for just
lemon
like,
juice?
hey, you drinking a Diet Coke? Why don't you cut up a lemon and throw it in there so people know it's a diet? Because you're at a restaurant, dumbass.
Lemon and Coke is actually very tasty, especially
Yeah,
Fountain
it's not
Coke.
bad. It's
I
not
used to
bad.
drink that all the time when I was at the chicken restaurant.
But as I would take the lemon in it or just two straws as ways a waiter or waitress can determine which one is the diet drink.
Sure.
Either works.
Not anymore. Two
yeah,
straws.
well, yeah, I guess two straws. That's fucking
double
fuck me.
jeopardy.
Bring your own.
All right, fine. Straws fashioned completely out of lemons. Let's just meet in the middle.
Okay.
Problem solved.
All right. The Nintendo Direct that was delayed was a week before last, I believe,
Packed a lot of news in a half an hour.
due to the earthquake in Hokkaido. Yeah, we had a couple leaks from that Direct last week, such as Civilization 6 for the Switch, and we're like, oh, okay, so there was some news in there.
Yeah.
The Direct actually happened. There was quite a bit more news than that, such as, hey, they're making Animal Crossing for the Switch
Yeah, good.
next year.
They should do that.
No shit.
Yeah. I hate to be cynical,
But now
that was
people,
that
you
was
know,
like the most non-announcement announcement.
That
Whatever, man,
hopefully
that's-
shuts some people up.
When you think about
Right.
Nintendo, they fuck this shit up all the time.
Yeah.
So them announcing it and saying, "Hey, we're gonna do it," is like they're halfway there.
I mean, it's good that it's confirmed. I just wish there had been a little more
Sure.
than a super boilerplate 30 seconds of Tom Nook,
Mm-hmm.
such as, I don't know, a look at the game.
Such as like what, like Tom Nook, like taking his own life, like something that lets you know this is like the dark
Ooh,
middle chapter. Of
Yeah.
interest rates
have gone up.
Credit collapse.
yikes.
Uh,
Yeah, they didn't show the game at all. They didn't even give it a title. It just literally just said Animal Crossing 2019.
Great.
Set it in San Francisco, 2019, and just
And try and live.
try just make it all a riff on current Bay Area real estate, and I'll find it more
It's
interesting.
just every time you connect online to someone else's town and the villagers change, you just get one more guy in a fucking polo shirt that wants to talk to you about his startup.
Yeah.
I will give them credit for a nice little bait and switch in that they
Oh man.
announced Isabelle as a character for Smash Brothers in such a way that at first you might have thought it was going to be an Animal Crossing game,
Yeah.
and then maybe you were disappointed that it was just a new Smash character.
See, I was.
And then they announced Animal Crossing anyway.
I forget where I was when that was all going down.
Where were you when they announced Isabelle? for
Yeah, I was in some
Smash?
hotel room somewhere or checking. I forget, but I remember just like I didn't see the thing, but
Yeah.
looking at Twitter, it was just like seeing, or not even Twitter. It was anyway, seeing the roller coaster of people going, "Oh yeah, oh, fuck. Oh yeah, was nice.
Maybe the intended effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, a new Animal Crossing next year is probably the biggest thing out of that Direct. The biggest thing for me, however, is a new Luigi's Mansion.
That looks pretty good.
They
Yeah,
actually
this is
showed footage
3, right?
of that. Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's a working title. They are calling it Luigi's Mansion 3 right now,
Right. Okay.
but they may give it a different title at some point. What was the 3DS one? It was like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon or something like that.
Even spookier edition.
Dark Sun. Did it abbreviate to DS? I don't know.
Maybe it did.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, they showed what looked like game footage of that, unless that was just a mock-up, but that looked real good. I mean, it looked like Luigi's Mansion. to
Fake
be fair.
footage. Luigi's dead.
I mean,
that's right.
The long payoff of Luigi having died in a previous video to, oh, by the way, we're making a new Luigi's Mansion is kind of amazing.
Wait, so is that it's just the Frighteners then, or something?
Something.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be like
know.
that.
I'm saying, man, like the
Or
end
it's-
reveal
or
is
it's
going to be
just Beetlejuice?
that Luigi is dead and all these ghosts are just regular people.
So it's Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
There's a whole dance scene in the middle. going to fucking stick with you for the rest of your days.
I have the best memories
Luigi
of the
goes
first
to a whorehouse.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah, and I'm excited about another one.
And they're re-releasing which one on the 3DS?
The first one.
First one.
Yeah, the
Oh,
sequel.
okay.
The sequel was a 3DS
Yeah.
Yeah.
game originally, but then now they're putting out the first game on 3DS as well.
Why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's this seems like the sort of thing that maybe you would have done during the year of Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to have a year for Luigi, maybe put your Luigi. I don't know.
Turns out it
Maybe they
wasn't the right
they
time.
kicked it off in the year of Luigi.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's taken this long to realize their vision.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put these in order of importance.
Was there a God Eater trailer?
No.
Fuck.
There was some Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was there actually? So I mean, I will say that they also announced a different game from Game Freak that is not a Pokemon game,
Which looks really cool.
which sounds
Town? Yeah.
super cool. It's I don't know if that's just the project
So,
name.
Yeah. Something.
Although if they actually just put out a game called Town, I'm way into it.
Yeah.
But what, like now
but the
Eevee
concept-
can do cut now or some shit? Is
That's
that
some bullshit right there. Eevee should not be able to do cut. You need a specific Pokemon to do cut. But Town, that looks cool.
Yeah, the
Eevee
concept,
loves to cut. I don't see what the problem is.
The concept for Town is that it's a JRPG that takes place entirely in one town.
Yeah.
Which I think sounds like it could be amazing.
Things seem
Hey.
popping over there.
Stealing
It's like
from
Torchlight.
Diablo.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Diablo 1.
I mean, I'd like the idea of games with smaller scope in general, but
Sure.
especially JRPGs, which are just still nonstop. Like, hey, we got to travel the
And now,
entire world
you have the airship.
and save the world. Yeah,
Now it has scrolled out even further.
Yeah.
So you see even more.
yeah, totally. So yeah, like a smaller scope JRPG sounds super cool, and the footage of that looked really nice.
Have you
too.
tried Moonlighter?
No,
Completely
I
non-sequitur, but-
I have been meaning to play that game, but I mean, good on them for committing to it. But for at least with me, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because when the game came out, they also put out a roadmap
Yep.
of like, here's all the cool stuff we're adding over the next 6 months for this game.
So you don't want to touch
And
it.
so much of it sounded like good essential stuff.
Okay.
Because it was like more weapons, more dungeons, more bosses, like more of everything. I was like, that looks cool, but I should wait until.
Sorry about that.
No.
It just seemed like up your alley.
yeah,
from
that
what you just
game
said.
that game looks super cool, but yeah, they're still adding stuff to it, so I figured I would wait. Let's see. They are putting out NES controller Joy-Cons.
Does seem all right.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
They're not full on Joy-Con replacements. That's
right. You can't use
like
it in your.
Yeah,
like, you can't use them when they're docked
because they are literally just
or when they're docked
hang
in
on.
the.
There's no
Switch.
analog on it.
Yeah, there's no analog.
it's
There's only
just-
two face. It's
yeah.
literally just an NES controller. It's
Wireless.
a D-pad and two face buttons on both sides.
And you're only going to be able to buy that if you're a subscriber to their service.
Yeah, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
I
Why
was
would you-
looking for the price
Because if you're a subscriber to their service, then you
You'd
get
get-
the NES games.
I get
and
it,
you
but-
wouldn't need the controllers unless you had the NES
Yeah.
games.
The
Yeah.
regular Joy-Cons wouldn't work for the NES game?
No,
They would.
Yeah, they totally will.
So you don't have to buy them.
This is purely
but-
just a kitschy nostalgia
So
thing.
they're strictly worse than Joy-Cons.
Yes,
They're just
yes.
they are not even like
Okay.
they literally are just
Oh, okay.
NES
I
controllers
see.
that bolt onto the side. Well, I
Ah.
don't have a picture here. but,
Okay.
$60
$60.
You get
for
two
these.
of them. Yeah.
for two of them. They charge on the sides of the Switch just like a Joy-Con would, but yeah, they are not a suitable replacement for
Yeah.
your Joy-Cons.
So the NES thing is only for the new.
Yeah, we'll get to the online service stuff. I think that's probably most of the big stuff. Like, well, Final Fantasy games on Switch probably also a big deal.
on everything.
Yeah. Actually, it was not
coming
just
everywhere,
Switch. They just
yeah.
happened to make that announcement here, but it's 7, 9, 10
Everything but 8.
/ 10
Because 7, 8,
And
9. No, that doesn't work.
No,
Oh,
7,
wow.
9.
Final Fantasy 8 is too good for the Switch.
Yeah, that's a weird. I'm curious to know more about.
Is
why
there
that
no
is.
modern version or
There's a. It's
I think
Steam.
8 is-
There's-
was there a
believe 8 is
PC
on
version
Steam.
of
There's
8?
a PC
Okay.
version.
that's
It's
right.
as bad as all the other ones.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
saw-
remastered. It's just like a pure the old PC version.
Right.
Somebody wrote into the podcast but did not in any way corroborate this, so I don't know where it came from, that supposedly like Square lost all the assets and source code for 8. or
I meant to
something.
say as bad as all the other ones. Those old PC ports are
Have they
just
looked in the
not
ceiling?
good
Yeah.
in terms of how they run
Yeah.
and the controls and everything like that.
Yeah.
I like 8 a lot as a game,
Yeah.
but I've never heard that rumor before. But
Yeah, I don't know where they got that. I'm
8's the
just-
one with the gun.
Gunblade. Yeah.
Gunblades.
Yeah, okay.
Squall versus
Squall
whatever his name
Leonhardt
is.
with his fur jacket, right?
Yeah.
That's that guy.
Hell yeah. Stylish.
Leon.
And his famous catchphrace, whatever.
Renoa.
Whatever.
Finally.
I like
that
the game a
game's
bunch,
good.
and
I
it's
do
a
too.
weird omission.
Yeah, it is.
Other
but
Final
yeah.
Fantasy stuff too. So Crystal
Oh,
Chronicles.
that's right. Crystal. Well, yeah. So they had announced that
Yeah,
a week or
previously,
two ago.
but also like World of Final Fantasy.
Yes, World of Final Fantasy.
Oh,
Maxima
Maxima.
is coming to Switch. So yeah, a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff. But yeah, these mainline Final Fantasy is also coming to
I assume 10 and,
Xbox.
Xbox.
10 and 12 would be the remastered editions.
Probably
I-
like
I
the
guess so. Zodiac Age.
Yeah.
the 12 is the
Zodiac
the
Age?
release of 12 is
Okay.
the Zodiac Age. Yeah. Yeah, like it was a big enough deal for Microsoft that they put out their own press release after that direct.
Like, hey, we got it
saying
too.
like, hey, Final Fantasy on the Xbox for the first time, all these games.
Yeah.
That's cool, but I'm
It's cool.
curious about price point, and if that's a collection, that
No,
would
it's
be
not.
amazing.
There's
I
zero
doubt it.
chance that they are putting those out as.
It would be cool.
What would you pay for that? So like $20 per? What are we talking? What do you think? 15,
I've
20?
played
No more than 20.
I've played so many of those games multiple times over across the years that I would have a hard time. Yeah, 20 sounds like a good sweet spot, but
Yeah.
the Zodiac Age was, I think, 50 when it came out. Like, I want to say 50.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So, I mean,
I mean, they did a fair amount of work to it, to be fair,
Yeah.
but that is still kind of pricey. Let's see. Civ 6, as we mentioned, they're doing a Smash Brothers Ultimate Bundle, $360.
fuck me. What?
It's basically, well, it's the price of a Switch
Console.
plus the game. Like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the exact same
It's
price.
a bundle. I thought that was a collector's edition price.
No.
Holy
It
shit.
is the Switch and the
Okay.
game for the same price, and it's like a custom dock and Joy-Cons. It's kind of got the logo.
No GameCube controllers thrown in there?
No, but they are putting out more GameCube controllers.
Yeah, I would think if they really wanted that bundle, or maybe like a pro version of the bundle that comes with all that shit too.
Yeah,
But
possibly.
I don't know.
And then
There's a
let's see.
Fortnite bundle coming too. I don't know.
Oh.
It wasn't announced as
Yeah,
part of
I
that,
don't
but I
see
just saw
on
that
this
this
list,
morning.
but, interesting.
Is Fortnite free to play on Switch?
Yes.
Yes.
So what would the
Everywhere.
bundle be?
It looks like Fortnite comes with some in-game shit.
Some V-Bucks,
Would
Yep,
it be
yeah.
like pricier than the regular Switch then?
I don't
probably,
know.
maybe, probably. Does it have any custom hardware stuff?
I don't know.
Or maybe-
I saw a picture just kind of saying it happened and it would come with some in-game.
All right,
Redeemable
Now
type
I have
stuff.
to look this up.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just the regular Switch from this. There's a straight up box shot out already.
Yeah.
Bonus double Helix bundle and 1,000 V-Bucks.
Wait, what was that? Was Soldier of Fortune 2, right? Double Helix?
Yeah.
Yep,
Man,
that's the
alright.
one.
Bring back Soldier of
Yeah,
Fortune
there
2
you
for
go.
Switch. I'll
Yeah,
buy
this-
a Switch.
this-
Fortnite, it's the exact same game, but they add the Soldier of Fortune style dismemberment to it.
Oh,
Done.
This definitely just looks like a regular Switch
Okay.
in this bundle. They announced a remaster of Katamari Damacy for Switch.
Reroll.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Mhm.
I want to say that's also coming to other platforms.
And is that just that's just the first game?
I believe so.
Okay. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Whatever. There were mechanics that they added later on that I think. Whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe
She
for Switch.
turns into Peach.
Yeah, they added so it's
Toadette.
new Super Mario U and new Luigi U,
Okay.
all in one game. And yes, they have added
Toadette
Peach.
eats
or-
the thing.
Is
and
it
she
Peach or
turns into
Toadette?
Peach.
Yeah, I feel like that was a scandalous display that has gone under discussed.
Who knew?
Do you know what we're talking about?
The modern Toad economy has gotten so fucking out of whack today that I fucking can't even tell.
There's
what
a
you're
shot.
even-
There's a shot in that footage of a Toadette hitting a block, a mushroom coming out, Toadette grabbing the mushroom and turning into Princess Peach.
Sure.
Which, I don't. The implications of that.
I don't even.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Nabbit is also a playable character.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
couldn't have told you who Nabbit was.
Nabbit's the rabbit that is there when you're playing the easy mode, like the
Okay.
Nabbit's the guide or whatever it is. I
Okay.
forget.
Nabbit,
I
stop
forget Nabbit's.
nabbing.
Or no, you have to catch Nabbit because it nabs things, right?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, he has
Either
a
of these.
bag of coins.
Yeah.
I figure we can't be more than a year away from Mario 3D World also getting announced for Switch, right?
Mhm.
Like that has to happen.
I don't know that it happened. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I mean,
you
they're
really-
just-
yeah.
If they're going to put this one out, well, then again, this probably sold
Like
way more than
what
3D
other
World.
Wii U games are left that no one played because no one owned a Wii U that they would put out on the Switch?
Mario 3D World, Wind Waker HD. They didn't do Pikmin 3 yet, did they? On Switch.
No.
So probably that.
Yeah.
I'd say those three.
Mario Maker maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Still feel like they just do a new one of those.
Yeah. You'd hope. You'd like to think.
I feel like those three I could definitely still see coming out at some point. A bunch of other little stuff. Some new Mario Tennis Aces DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Shy
Birdo.
Guy
What's that?
Birdo.
and Shy Guy.
Oh, in
Yeah.
tennis.
Birdo and Shy Guy.
That's cool. Yeah, some online co-op game modes, which
Mm.
sounds interesting. Although I believe I saw they're limited time only. And then they're doing the thing that Capcom did with Resident Evil 7 in Japan only. Ubisoft is going to let you buy Assassin's Creed Odyssey and stream it to your Switch.
Super weird.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
Phantasy Star Online 2 was also released for the Switch in Japan.
In that,
same, called PSO2 Cloud.
Huh.
Same type deal.
Yeah.
Theoretically, that could make that game look really, really good, but you'd probably have to be on Wi-Fi, I assume. I mean, I guess that's
or a wired connection.
Yeah,
you can get a $12 Ethernet adapter for your Switch. I highly recommend it. This game's download way faster.
It's just bizarre to me. I've tried the GeForce Now. I've tried some streaming stuff, and it's laggy enough
to
be
quite there.
Yeah,
if you think about it in terms of this is a single player only game.
There's
no other way to do it on Switch, probably.
I mean, I've been remote playing a fair amount of Destiny on my PC, and even that over my network is not.
Right.
It's noticeably worse. So
I heard this morning you can actually play Bloodborne on your PC via PlayStation Now because your client runs on there. I'm really curious to try that at some point. I've heard it's also not great, but
I don't know that I want to play a From Software game in
I
that
think
way.
frame specific would be pretty tough. So
right. So, you wonder if they make any changes to this version of the game to open up some timing windows, wider than they would be on PlayStation 4 or Xbox or PC, just because to try to account for this latency, or if it is just the same game.
But if it works well, it's a cool way to get these big games on the Switch.
And on the phones and everywhere else. This is the stuff we were talking about back at E3 when you had, Yves Guillermo coming out and talking about the cloud stuff, Phil Spencer talking about it here and there. Like, it's more than just lip service. Like, they're working on this shit. They're trying to make it happen. So this is a big step for that stuff.
Especially with this, because it's a new release. Like RE7 was like a couple years old by the time that happened.
Right. This is, yeah, we'll see. And this is worldwide. This isn't just for Japan.
No,
right?
it is Japan only.
Oh,
still.
okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It would be nice to see them maybe pilot some of that stuff over here.
I tried playing PSO2 Cloud, but it's Japan only, and it's hitting servers primarily targeted to the Japanese market.
Yikes.
So like half the time the stream would start and an error message would pop up over it and say, you can't fuck, like, I don't know what the error message actually said, but I'm pretty sure it said, you can't fucking play this because your internet's not good enough. I got in once and it was like, this is not a great experience. So people looking to import these video streams, if this does stay Japan only, I might recommend.
No bueno.
Well, whatever. Your mileage may vary.
I think, aren't they like kind of free to try? I think RE7 had some.
I assume so. Like, this stuff probably always has to be free to try, at least in this, because you need to know if your internet's good enough to even do it. So there's got to be something. We'll see.
And then the last thing, which I'd save for last, for a reason that will become clear shortly, is that they filled in all the remaining details about the online service, which launches today. Yeah. Yeah, they announced.
It was not up yet. The firmware update was not up yet before we came in here. I don't know if it's out now or not, but
it will roll out today. After today, you will have to pay for all the online games you have previously been playing for free.
I had a Splatoon match tonight.
Yep.
Oh,
guess what?
Cough up.
I hope you have
double sawbuck.
$4.
I hope you have the roughly $1.65 it costs per month if you pay for the annual plan.
Except for Fortnite, apparently.
Yeah, so the many details were filled in on this, one of which is that, some online games will not be subject to this policy.
And you wonder if this will just end up being first-party games only.
Right, yeah.
I'm trying to party games, because it's what does Nintendo provide to developers in terms of online services and such that would justify them putting this stuff behind a paywall?
Yeah.
Is Nintendo providing servers, or like really are they providing a significant amount of matchmaking stuff on their end? It just feels like the online stuff built into the Switch just feels so fucking bare bones that I could imagine all third-party games continuing to be free.
Yeah,
but I have no idea.
That might be cool. I mean, with Fortnite, it's probably just the pure business case of like who's going to pay to play this free game online. You know?
Well, what is it? Who does it? Who doesn't do it? I think.
Isn't it the same
Microsoft,
way on... I thought it was the same way on PS4.
I think PS4 you can play free-to-play games are outside the PlayStation Plus wall, but I want to say on Xbox they are not.
You might be right. That sounds right to me.
There is one of those two is forcing you to pay for their service to play free-to-play games. Okay. I just can't remember.
I can't remember a time that I didn't have either of those.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing.
Man, the announcement trailer they put out for this thing is weird because it starts with it's like, here are the 5 features we want you to know about Nintendo Online. What is the full name of this thing? Nintendo Switch Online. Like, here are the 5 pillars of this service, and number 1 is you can play your games online. It's like, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, but like
I know
they got out in front and said, "Hey, this is a trial until we roll out the service." So I don't know how
like the positive way to look at it is like, oh, they let people play for free for 18 months instead of just charging them at launch.
Or several years because Nintendo was never charged before.
Well, but I mean on this platform in particular, if you bought in on here. And yes, the messaging was extremely upfront about all this stuff.
Yes.
Like you're right.
And the pricing seems
and
very
the pricing
reasonable.
is like if you go for the year plan, it's less than a cup of coffee a month. Like
now, how much? Yeah, it's
like you're not wrong, but it is just psychologically having something and then having it taken away is not a good feeling.
Yes, but also for me, it is more about how many games does Nintendo put out that have online modes that I need to play.
Like you're right, because I was looking at this thing and I was like, $20 a year. Of course I'll get that. But then I was like, wait a minute, what if I just got it?
Do with it?
What if I just got it for the very rare occasion that I want to play one of their games online?
Exactly. Yeah. When this thing when they finally put out a game that I want to play on the internet, I'll give them their $20.
Yeah.
But like
or $4 if you're just going to play it that month and be done with it. Just like, all right, I'll get it for a month.
At that point, I'd probably just sign
but
up.
Yeah,
That's
you're
just
right.
me.
Sure.
I like Splatoon 2 quite a bit. I don't need to play it anymore, though.
Yeah.
So I haven't played it in some time. I don't see myself going back and playing it anytime soon. So that's not a driving force for me.
I mean, obviously, Smash is the big one for people who care about Smash.
Yeah, but people who really, really care about Smash are playing locally in tournaments
but
and all this other stuff.
I bet they also would want the option to play online when
everyone
they don't
would
have people around.
Of course.
I bet they'll spring for it.
Yeah.
And Mario Kart being such a huge system seller previous generation, maybe that's something that keeps people coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. I'm trying really hard to separate my personal feelings about the games they have with internet support and what I view to be like popular and all other stuff. And it's hard for me to gauge like how many people care enough about online Mario Kart, specifically like Mario Kart, whatever, it's big. But like a lot of Nintendo's games were always classically like, hey, let's get together and play it. Like the fucking every trailer for the Switch is here. Let me hand you this Joy-Con so we can play. And so how many of the Switch's existing users are gonna sign up for this? I wonder. Like I just how many of them care?
I mean, that's totally gonna vary. If they suddenly release a new Mario Kart or something like that.
Like next time there's a big online game, I'm whatever. I would absolutely.
What really helps soften the blow for me is the bundled NES games.
Yeah, that helps. So they have
Do you know
finally.
if Monster Hunter is behind the paywall or not?
I don't know.
Question.
I don't know.
Huh?
I would assume not.
Do you really care about the 25th time you can play these? I know they have like some online components, but like NES games in 2018 are just not. I do not care.
I care enough to hop in and play 5-10 minutes.
It's cool that they're free with it. That's neat, but
and to have them easily accessible.
If that's a service that continues to grow and doesn't
they've
become
said,
if it's a rotation of 10 games, which is how they initially announced it, but I think they've since
it's 20.
walked that back. Okay,
it's 20 games. So
rotation, but
they put out the full list. The wording. I think it was in the trailer that they put out for this thing. There was wording around like the service will continue to grow, or something. It made it sound like there will be more than 20 games at some point. I mean, obviously we don't know for sure.
Because the initial announcement, they were like, this month you'll play these games, and then they'll rotate out, and you'll play these games, and that was like, no way.
That would not be great.
It's cool if you do like it, but like the thought of playing, it's cool that they're adding online to this kind of game. That must be not, I assume, non-trivial to like, hey, online multiplayer for ice hockey.
You're assuming that they're going to do it right, and not just like say like, okay, we've implemented online for NES games. This is the one implementation across all games, even though you could tune it to make it a little better experience here and there. It's just because they're allowing you to play single player games online. Like you can pass the controller back and forth virtually and stuff. So
here's the list: Balloon Fight, Baseball, Donkey Kong, Double Dragon, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Ghosts and Goblins. Oh, Gradius! I didn't know that was on here. Ice Climber, Ice Hockey, Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, Pro Wrestling, River City Ransom, Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, and Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, Tennis, and was there really a game just called Yoshi?
I think that's Yoshi's Cookie in some parts of the world.
Okay,
that's the first one that comes to mind.
It's a good list.
Yeah, it's a banger list, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but
It's not bad.
Soccer.
Yeah,
Baseball.
There's a couple of
Baseball,
like,
I'm
there's a
really
couple of
into.
filler slots on there.
I liked
course.
that baseball game.
Yeah, I did
but
too.
that a lot of stuff, a lot of good NES baseball games came out after that.
Yeah.
But
And-
they're all going to have licensed players in them, so they're probably never going to come out.
Maybe.
would trade out soccer for like a Faxanadu or a Mega Man,
And maybe
or-
next month or whatever they will.
or a
have.
Jackal.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Then they have to go out and make more deals with.
If this thing grows at a good rate and they can eventually, like, they need to, at this point it feels like they need to build it in such a way that they have like a really good, then they'll never have a complete library, but a as complete as they can get library of like, hey, sign up for this thing and play every NES game we could do the business to make happen.
Yeah.
At
And
that point,
I
it's a
think
no-brainer.
that's awesome.
Like that would be amazing.
And then you look at it and go like, okay, if you're doing right by these games, I understand why you went out and shut down all these other sites a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Right now, you go like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think Sega announced this morning that a couple Genesis games are also going to come to the Nintendo Switch Online service by winter time.
Really?
Was it?
Was it the service or was it the
I thought it
Sega
was that
Genesis
collection.
Oh,
collection?
Yeah,
collection.
I
it's,
think
it's
that's-
that it's that Genesis collection is
Yeah.
coming.
That's
out.
that's the other thing is
Right.
like you would never see Mega Man. You would probably never see Mega Man
Sure.
on this service because they're reselling those games.
Yeah.
And so that gets in the way.
Do you think they always stagger this behind, like if they're going to SNES or GameCube or 64 or whatever? I assume they have some kind of 64 mini planned at some point.
Damn it! Cannibalizing my emails.
Oh, sorry.
I'll just read the email.
All right.
Brian from Chicago wrote in. With Nintendo announcing only NES games for the online service for $20 a year, how long until they start a $30 tier for SNES games, $40 for N64 games, or $50 for GameCube games? It seems like an inevitability, but just wondering your thoughts.
Around GameCube, they probably could they emulate GameCube on Switch?
Potentially.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or would those be streaming too at some
I
point?
doubt that.
You could do the work
Okay.
to probably make that happen.
You could definitely port them.
Yeah.
Emulating is definitely harder than porting in terms of horsepower. But the
Sure.
porting would take more work. But you could absolutely make those games run on a Switch.
Yeah,
But
the
would they?
question is, are GameCube games just modern enough that you would get more benefit out of it by doing some light remaster work to it and just reselling it for $40?
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds more
as
likely
opposed
to me.
yeah,
like
like
that, yeah.
GameCube as a part of the service seems like a stretch. I could maybe see N64 showing up in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe. Super NES, though,
They need to do
I don't know what the business case is or how they will
They were
do
remaking
that, but they need to put those games out.
They were remaking the SNES Mini, right? They were going to put up some more.
Oh,
out,
those are out.
They
Like
have.
I know.
you can get both of those.
But I mean,
pretty
it hasn't
easily now.
sold out yet. They're still
I think they just
printing
kind of exist now, right?
I think so.
Like,
Yeah,
I think they just kind of started making enough that
Yeah.
people could just buy them.
Yeah.
So those are out there, but
So this seems like it's a way for them to piggyback their service onto these games that they just did very well selling these NES classics and stuff. So
Yeah.
if they can get this service and play off the nostalgia and hey, get these NES controllers and all that sort of stuff, like that all seems logical.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily see them raising the. I don't know that I would support or I don't know that it makes sense for them to raise the price as they add new systems.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, it's
Yeah.
they would have to code new emulators to handle the 16-bit stuff if they haven't already, and put all that stuff in. But once that work is done, if they're doing it the right way, they get the entire library at that point. So it's not
a
like,
lot harder to find those ROMs now that they took down those sites.
That's
So
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
they really. Hopefully, they downloaded an archive of them. They just ripped
That
the
would have
site
been smart.
before sending the cease and desist.
if not, we've got a couple.
I've got a retroed.
Yeah.
If you know anyone that has the full collection, we can just dump these carts here.
right.
It'll be fine.
So obviously,
I assure you, it's all perfectly legal.
Mhm.
The other thing was the cloud save stuff
Yeah.
was really weird about the NES Online service.
we're getting there.
Sorry.
Obviously, you can't play these NES games once your subscription lapses. I did read somewhere that if you go offline, you have up to 7 days to keep playing them
Right.
before it locks you out,
Huh.
before you have to sign back into the internet.
It sounds
And-
like the original Xbox One plan in some
Yeah,
ways,
kinda.
Yeah.
but
Kinda.
like that's you kind of have to do that because of the Switch being a portable device.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can't expect it to always have internet.
But that's
so
cool. I mean, you go out of the country,
7
you
days
got
is
a
pretty
week.
generous.
You got a week to play
You
them.
got a week to find some Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And then no more Mario Brothers. Criminal.
You could probably finish The Legend of Zelda in faster than a week
I know that forest is pretty confusing.
if you had to.
Yeah.
Um,
Where do I put these bombs? I don't know.
So this thing also adds cloud saves, as we talked about last week. They have already kind of bungled that by disallowing a good number of games from using cloud saves.
Dead
Their
Cells.
excuse is decent. I mean,
Wait.
yeah.
Dead Cells is on that
Dead
list?
Cells is on that list.
What?
You could save a run and keep trying the run over and over again.
No, you can do that on PS4.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I wouldn't know.
Exactly. People like you.
That's
are-
crazy, though. I mean, like you're not hurting anybody but yourself if you are
You were not wrong.
if you're just saves coming. That's insanity.
How many of us
Especially 'cause Dead Cells is a game you put dozens of hours into to unlock
Hey.
stuff.
You know?
That's insane.
How many of us have ever used like two? I mean, we were probably the easiest use case for using two Switches, one at home and one here. But I mean, I just
I
carry
feel like
Switch
the
in.
cloud save, the story I'm hearing from people out there that are excited to finally get it are like, yo, I put 200 hours into Zelda, and if my Switch is lost, it's fucking
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, that's
like
what
it being
is.
a handheld system kind of
Yeah.
raises the stakes on that stuff in a way.
Yeah.
That like them not just saying, hey, copy this SD card onto your PC and your saves are good
Yeah.
is pretty fucked up. Because there are ways they could have done this with it, like physical backup of this should be possible.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. There should be some way to just put these on, SD or USB or whatever.
It's pretty ridiculous that
It's
the only
crazy.
way to do it at all, period, legally.
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer. Without doing bad shit to a Switch is paying them.
You can even do it on the 3DS.
Right.
Like literally in File Explorer. Like you can literally just stick the SD card in a computer, drag all the files off, and that's a backup.
Yeah, like them marrying these SD cards to specific hardware and everything they've done to try to lock that stuff down.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I get it. Like
It's-
they've made some bad security decisions in the past.
Totally. But they are
this
absolutely
is-
screen the user.
Yeah.
Well, their specific
badly.
excuse was for this in like Dark Souls. If you trade something to somebody else, you can back up your own cloud save and then have that same item that you traded.
I get it.
and
Like
take
for
it.
online
I
games,
get it,
especially
yeah.
where you care about some kind of economy or whatever. Like I get why you would want to try to do that. And the only thing I can think of is what I said last week is that those games were engineered prior to this cloud save stuff rolling out,
Yeah.
and hopefully going forward, anyone developing a game for Switch will, if they care about that stuff, they will build in server-side storage or some other safeguard that lets you back up your save without ruining the online portion of it or whatever.
Yeah, it's just a shame Nintendo has not done that work, that they're just kind of punishing the
Like
users
it seems like they
instead.
could patch Splatoon 2, especially now that they are charging people to play it online.
Right.
Like, hey, we've patched Splatoon 2 to work with the
Totally.
stuff.
On
Now
top-
we store your rank online as well.
Also, if you thought that was the only way they were going to screw up the cloud saves,
Oh, wait, there's more?
yeah. It
Fantastic.
also has come out since the Direct that if your what is this fucking thing called? Nintendo Switch Online. If your Nintendo Switch Online subscription lapses, they will delete your cloud saves.
I thought there was a little grace period
there-
to it as well, but
Last thing I read, there was not.
unconfirmed. That's
The-
kind of
Save
Yeah.
data stored via the Save Data Cloud backup is available for as long as you have an active Nintendo Switch Online membership.
So did they come out and say we erase them, or is it
Right.
like,
Yeah,
hey,
like
if you
that-
are unsubscribed for a month and sign back up, you will regain access to your existing saves?
That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Or did they wipe it all? Like that's because I definitely saw people talking about that, but it feels like there is still some kind of fuzzy information gap around that stuff. I guess we'll know today. I mean, if that
This-
stuff's rolling out.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, we won't know today because no one's subscription is going to lapse today.
Yeah.
The news story on GameSpot as recently as yesterday says that they will be deleted.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, they should build a grace period into that.
Yeah.
Like,
no. Okay, they're on the fact page. Save data stored with Save Data Cloud cannot be kept outside of the duration of your Nintendo Switch Online membership.
it's so antiquated that they would be like worrying about server
Oh,
space.
okay, yeah. So yes, it will be deleted because it says
Hmm.
effectively they say if you if you keep the local saves and re-up your subscription, then you can upload it again effectively.
right, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but
right,
like this is
so-
for and the Switch is weird about save management. Like when you delete games from the Switch,
Yeah.
it says stuff like your save data will not be deleted.
Right.
And I don't know if there's a way to even get at that save
Like the
data.
whole framework around like deleting versus archiving or
Right.
like quick archiving, like
Yeah.
that stuff is very confusing.
Yeah.
Especially because I've got to the point where I'm juggling multiple smallish SD cards,
Mm-hmm.
and like certain games that I had put on another SD card were still showing up in my home screen, but others were not.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
had to like dig into the store to find out how to re-download the ones that were not there.
Weird.
It's needlessly confusing.
I bought a pretty big SD card for my Switch at some point and haven't filled it up, but also
I want to say I saw a 5 terabyte SD card the other day, like an image.
What is it? Switch supports up to, I forget what.
200?
I think I want to say it goes over 200. I might be wrong.
I mean, if you're gonna get a satiator for your Saturn, you're gonna need at least a 1 terabyte SD card for that bad boy.
That's fair. Let's see. Trying to think if there's much else to cover on this thing. So they've got the NES games, the cloud save stuff, the online play.
I guess the app has been locked down. The phone app, which is still used for voice chat, is now kind of because it was
only if you're a subscriber.
Yeah. Which makes sense, but at the same time, like, couldn't you could do Splatoon 2 stuff like sending orders? I don't know if that's still possible or not.
From what I've read, Splatoon 2 is still the only game that has support for that in the app.
Well,
it's not a bad idea. It's a shame they should.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be something like Animal Crossing, the catalog of every item you want to order. You should be able to interface that from some. You just have a hot second screen experience.
Yeah,
smart glass.
That's right,
but slightly less smart and slightly less glass.
I think that's everything.
Oh, the multiplayer stuff. If you're playing like a single player game, like a Super Mario Brothers or something like that, the second player can show up as like a cursor.
Yeah.
That seemed kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jump here. Jump up here.
Well,
Jump in this pit.
Okay, sure.
100 free guys down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything. And yeah, it's $4 a month, $8 for 3 months, or $20 for a year.
And then a family plan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
You can split a $34.99 family plan 8 ways if you really want to.
There you go.
Which I think breaks down to like $5 a month, $5 a year.
But I think
or less.
The only the main account holder can take advantage of like the NES controllers or whatever. Like I think only
that stuff.
The top of the family is the only account that can buy the exclusive shit.
Okay.
For whatever.
What is with having to pay or earn your way to the chance to buy more stuff? Like Destiny did the same thing. I don't know if you saw. I think today,
sick jackets.
I think today is the cutoff. If you finish the raid before today, you earn the chance to buy a like $150 jacket from them.
I assume they're going to keep selling the jacket. It just won't be personalized.
Maybe,
like the jackets were going to
yeah.
be personalized if you beat it by today. But
I see.
I would assume.
Yeah,
it was a nice looking jacket.
Well,
like,
sure,
not necessarily for me, but you know, I was like, all right.
This trend of having to like prove your worth to buy more stuff. I don't know. All right, that's all the Nintendo news. This actually just started breaking kind of over the break, and I pulled what details I could find. But Capcom has announced that they are shuttering Capcom Vancouver.
Yeah,
which was Blue Castle.
Once upon a time for some like racing games that they did
before they got acquired by Capcom and became Capcom Vancouver.
I was gonna say Blue Planet, but I don't think that's it.
Blue Castle sounds right.
Yeah, it was Blue Castle.
Blue Castle. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did the Bigs.
Right.
And MLB Front Office Manager. And then Capcom picked them up, and they've done the last 3 Dead Rising games.
They put out a press release or anything yet, or just
yes. 158 people.
Fuck me.
Losing their jobs. This says a skeleton crew will remain until January 2019 to finalize closure operations.
They also did that mobile puzzle fighter game that
Jason
shut down or is shutting down.
I think it's already shut down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Vancouver is one of the most expensive cities to live in on the West Coast. I know it's like right up there with San Francisco and
is it really?
Yeah,
there's a crazy housing crisis up there too.
Kotaku's story on this had mentioned that maybe people had been sliding out to EA Vancouver or maybe some other jobs for a little while now. So
what was last Dead Rising 4?
Yeah.
That was a year and a half
gosh,
ago?
that was close to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Have they made anything since then?
I don't believe so.
Puzzle Fighter came out since then.
And some like DLC
so
stuff for
apparently they really had stuff in production because part of Capcom's statement said that they expect to lose roughly $40 million in canceling the projects that were in progress.
They're like, fuck it, we got Monster Hunter money now.
So I wonder if they were working on. So here's a. What if they were working on Dead Rising 5 and Microsoft said, "Now we're good"? Because if you think about it, the last couple of Dead Rising games were Microsoft first projects.
Oh, that's right. I forgot 4 was as well.
Maybe Microsoft rolled in and said, "We are no longer interested in paying you to develop another Dead Rising game for us." And then Capcom said, like, again, I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's just there are a billion different ways it could have gone.
Sure.
Because I look at it and go, like, man, those last couple of Dead Rising games were not great.
Ah.
They were not. I know you like 3.
Three's not bad.
I was not
4,
super into 3.
4 was okay, but it
4
just started. It felt like it was losing its identity.
Totally.
I didn't hear that 4 came
Totally.
out until like a year after it was out.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it.
Frank West was back. He had covered Wars.
Yeah.
It's true. 4 was just such a strange thing because
Yeah.
they completely recharacterized him.
Yeah,
Like he just felt like a different person and different structure.
Not the Frank West I fell in love with.
No,
Walking on zombies.
like he was a pretty entertaining character in his own right. It's just that this is
Not
this is not the Frank West I remember. Yeah, that's a shame. Condolences to everyone who lost their job. And then you were saying, I didn't see this as part of this, that they said that they're refocusing development in Osaka.
Yeah, they've been hiring up in Osaka. They're going to be opening up an R&D center there as well.
I mean, this was kind of their only studio outside of.
Yeah.
Yes,
the
this
mothership,
was their, I think their one big Western studio. But yeah, with Monster Hunter being like the most successful thing they've ever put out, you could see why they would want to ramp up there.
Or, maybe whatever project they were working on just wasn't coming together and Capcom
Yeah,
was looking at it and going like,
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, independently of
Oh, sure,
Vancouver.
sure.
I'm just saying, like they're onto something with Monster Hunter World. Like you could see them beefing up for that.
Got to get these Street Fighter 6 teams together.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Huh.
I'm ready.
That's an interesting phrase.
Let's do it.
They're not ready, though. They're not fucking ready.
Yeah.
No.
It feels kind of weird to take this story about PS4 firmware 6.0, but it is kind of weird.
It's weird.
They put out
but
a major
it's-
point release.
This
that has,
says more about our expectations for arbitrary bullshit.
I guess so. And Sony has, I mean, the long and the short of it is they put out firmware 6.0 for the PS4 with one feature, which is like improved system performance.
Yeah, like it very.
I wanted
like
more.
Nothing, no visible change
Yeah.
to the user experience. I mean, maybe people are timing it and going, "Hey, it
I don't
performs
know.
better," but
it
it
feels way more stable.
I will say was it 5.5? I think made it so that scrolling the games back and forth is like super smooth already.
Yeah.
Like they already beefed up a bunch of front-facing performance stuff.
How many people do you think even know what firmware their PS4 is out of the total ownership? I had no idea.
Considering it
6.0.
forces you to update and it'll put it right in your face. Hey, we're
Yeah.
updating to version 6.
Yeah.
Like it,
I had no
People
idea.
that care, let's say,
Sure.
like single-digit percentage,
Yeah.
but
the idea that on one hand, I get it. Like it's 6.0. Normally, these big number releases, in phones,
Yeah,
like
traditionally
society
they're
is
0.5 and
yeah.
they're 0.0 typically.
Yeah, Apple released 12 yesterday, and people were like, "Oh, and it's a huge change." Blah blah blah. Well, not huge, but whatever. Noticeable changes, noticeable new features, all that sort of stuff. So I think public expectations for firmware have been
Myself
established.
Yeah,
I guess
myself
so.
included. Like I was updating the firmware on those guys. I'm like, oh, 6.0, shit. I guess I got to find out what the hell's new.
Well, the weird thing is that they ran a beta for this, and when
Yeah.
when the beta rolled out, they were like, "There are no forward-facing features in this beta."
Yeah.
But
So
why
that
have a
led to
beta?
everyone thinking,
Interesting.
"Oh, so that kind of exacerbated the problem because now you have people going like, the features in 6 are so fucking good, they don't want them to leak, so they're not even beta testing the hot new features."
That absolutely got
so
people
when 6
talking.
rolls out, it's gonna be fucking. You're gonna change your name. It's gonna fucking do this. PlayStation VR will work. Like it was just this long list. And no, none of it. So I get like the disappointment,
Sure.
but it's also it's kind of ridiculous. Maybe they should have just called it 5.7. I don't like that's the
Well,
thing. I don't know.
so Sony gave Kotaku a statement on this. They say, as for the firmware update number, in previous years we've released X.50 updates in the spring and X.0 updates in fall. So we followed the same pattern with this update and numbered at 6.0.
Fair enough.
It's just
All
a
right.
it's just a
Yeah.
versioning scheme. Like,
Yeah,
that's it.
totally. And that's like logical. Like these numbers should follow actual development
Right,
needs
right.
and not like marketing needs.
Yeah, totally.
But the reality of it is that a lot of other devices use those big numbers, and they have
and
in the past as
People,
well.
people get excited about the prospect of something they already own getting better.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like I couldn't care less that this thing has nothing in it because it's a very mature platform already. It does everything I need it to do, but it really does make me wonder if there is some back end stuff for the name changes in this thing.
They should go to
Or
the
not,
Chrome system of
'cause-
having a new version every 2 months and just do that
Yeah.
because nobody will ever care again.
Here we go, firmware 75.
Like I kind like for what I kind of like the way Microsoft handles their stuff. It's just raw ass fucking build numbers. You're like, here you
Yeah.
go. This is the build number you're on. If you're enrolled in the Insider program, you're gonna get way more builds.
Yeah. Even for games, if you do the little bumper trick to look at the
It
the
feels
game
more
info,
real.
yeah, you see the build numbers
It
on
feels
the games.
raw
Yeah,
in a
totally.
way that
Then you see a bunch
maybe they could use it. I don't know because they've always been like our spring update.
Yeah.
And they never put a number on it. But
Yeah. But yeah, like it was last year that Layden was saying. What was the phrasing? It was something like hopefully
we won't get
by the
back
next
to E3 or next PSX.
By the next PSX, we'll the name change stuff will be in.
Huh. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Go on.
No. Never mind. Go on.
What are the details on that event? They haven't announced one, have they?
No, I guess not.
According to Wikipedia. They had one in Southeast Asia in August.
Right.
But yeah, I guess there is no North American PSX announced yet.
As soon as they have
the
the
year?
name change ready, then
I guess so.
that's PSX
All right,
time.
who knows then?
Yeah. The firmware, whenever the firmware is ready, they're just like, we're having an event tomorrow. Come.
Okay. In light of that, now, yeah, I have no idea. Maybe it is just wishful thinking that's even still happening. Who knows? Last news story. This showed up in the Bombcast email inbox, and I read the subject line and the little deck, and I had to put it in here. Intellivision to reveal extensive details of new video game console on October 20th. Intellivision Entertainment President Tommy Tallarico
Yeah.
to keynote the Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
This is a very self-boosting. The entire press release was pretty.
Yeah, kind of.
So Tommy Tallarico came to run this Intellivision company.
Yeah, I had no idea about
one
that.
of the Blue Sky Rangers, the original Intellivision team. That I feel terrible that I can't remember his name. He passed away.
I think it might be in this press release.
And then after that, the Intellivision stuff, to whatever end it was in need of some kind of president or leader or something like that. Tommy Tallarico is filling that role. I don't know if that means that he bought the IP from the remaining Blue Sky, because the remaining Blue Sky Rangers, the Intellivision team, they are still involved in this, as I understand it.
He's hosting they're holding a panel,
right,
at, I believe,
Portland,
I guess at the Portland
Game Expo,
Retro Gaming Expo. Exclusive Blue Sky Rangers panel consisting of never-before-heard original Intellivision past management, as well as programmers and artists to discuss the revolutionary products and video game industry firsts they pioneered. So that's cool.
Sure.
Is it just going to be someone talking about, like, I was the one that wanted it to have a southern accent. We said, B-17 bomber.
This says 6 of the biggest and brightest stars of the early 80s era of Intellivision will be together again, but they don't list the names. Anyway, like, I don't know. It's weird because I'm sure we're all like a nerd to this idea of like new companies existing under the banner of old companies, like from Atari to THQ.
Right, but
this
is actually
them.
This is actually them.
Okay.
Like acquiring it back from Mattel some years ago.
Okay.
Like because they released, here's a CD-ROM with Intellivision games and all. They've reissued this stuff in different ways, just on the low.
Right.
As a small company of these creators, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're working on, and so I think that's what makes it different than, like, say, what Atari is doing. Where Atari is just like, hey, we bought the rights to this stuff, and you damn right we're going to try to put out something that looks sort of vaguely like it.
Right.
Like, this is fascinating because outside of Tallarico, it's a lot of the people that were involved back then, still involved in some capacity, or at least like willing to lend their names to it, whatever it is. And I heard, I don't know. I heard someone very excited about what they're working on over there at Intellivision.
Like somebody that knows what it is?
Yeah. I did not hear the specifics, but someone who got the details on it came away from that meeting going, holy shit.
Is it someone you would trust not to hyperbolize?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
That's cool. Because, like when I first saw this, I was like, it's another Atari box, like whatever.
Right.
But hearing that it might actually be something interesting, that's cool.
Yeah, I have zero idea what it is. I would love to know. I just need to find out.
They really don't say much in this.
They say a lot. It's a pretty long.
Well, I mean, about the product.
I know.
Whatever new thing they're making. I mean, most of this is about the panel they're having and like the legacy of Intellivision. They don't.
What do they capitalize? Like fun, family, entertainment, the Intellivision legacy.
First 16-bit gaming machine, first gaming console to offer digital distribution, the first to bring speech and voice to games, the first to license professional sports leagues, and the first to create and utilize a D-pad for game controls.
Oh,
that's what
I would call that a D-pad.
That's what this says.
Call that a suck pad. I don't know. It's yeah.
It's great that they're proud. I mean, it's a cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's a neat.
it's
The
cool.
press release made me laugh a little bit just because they're definitely pimping this thing up without.
Well,
the
but
Intellivision kind of gets swept under the rug a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
sure,
You know, it's compared to the Atari.
Sure.
You know, for sure. I might even take a ColecoVision, honestly. But you know, yeah, they did some stuff. They were doing their thing back then.
Yeah.
Was this started?
No,
No,
this is all.
I'm thinking maybe there was there Coleco
The
one?
Atari thing was Indiegogo.
Okay.
And then there was there was that Coleco. They
Weird.
got the ColecoVision name
Yeah.
and did some real
Shady stuff. With it.
yeah.
Yeah, this says so on October 20th. Information to be revealed includes the name, logo, and branding of the new console, the hardware specs, including the quote revolutionary new controller. Launch date, price point, online capabilities, new and unique approach to doing business in the games industry. Games available at launch. Partners, publishers, game licenses, marketing strategy, developer relationships, and game funding. Technical specifications for game developer tools. The team and advisors behind Intellivision Entertainment, special guests, game industry supporters and backers, and much more.
And much more.
It is cool that they
And including a first look at what the new console and controllers will look like, 3D renders only.
The bar has been raised so far on like the burden of proof has become so crushing for projects like this
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
that they're probably smart to wait until they have all of that shit lined up and then tease it to say no, this isn't, we're not gonna like show you a fucking curvy take on the old Intellivision and then say please back our thing.
Right.
Though they might be launching a campaign.
That's what I was
have no
thinking
idea.
too.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how they intend to sell it or whatever. So maybe this will be a crowdfund thing at the end of the
it'd
day.
be cool
but
if it's not. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If they can,
they're saying launch date and price point and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. So
Yeah.
you know that to me, but it could just be launch date for a campaign also.
Sure.
Who knows?
The thing that really catches my interest is new and unique approach to doing business in the games industry.
Yeah,
Like, they could be talking a big game, but
we'll see what it
that
is.
sounds
you know,
intriguing.
It's, you know, like what is it? It's Ouya done right.
yeah,
like
we
you
all
know,
we
this
all
isn't,
remember the Ouya.
this isn't going to be something that's like competing with Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. I don't think. You know, I don't think they're going out there at that level of power
No,
and all that.
no.
You know, they're.
Certainly not.
This doesn't sound like a Intellivision.
It sounds like it's going to be more
emulator.
than I presume it will probably do all of that
Yeah.
too, because they own all that stuff. So why not put it in there? But which then leads you to think like, well, their revolutionary new controller would have to be able to play all the old Intellivision games, which that controller was goofy as shit. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me want to go to Portland. I've been wanting to go anyway.
Yeah.
That time frame is bad for me, but
This will be Saturday, October 20th. What's Portland can't be what?
Nothing's coming out late October.
90-minute flight.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, being as buttoned up as they seem to be and having that original team involved definitely gives this a legitimacy that those other projects maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the headlines. We're going to take one more break and then read some emails.
I have to go take a phone call, an urgent phone
Okay.
call in New York. So
All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
Matt,
me.
Rory.
I will see you.
Always good to see you. All right, we'll be right back.
Free podcasts.
Free podcast.
That's right.
Wow.
Podcasts.
What do they think of next?
It's a podcast, but you ain't got to pay for it.
Man, that's the best kind.
Those are the best kind. And now there's another one because Marvel has just released Wolverine the Long Night, their first ever scripted podcast, for free.
Wow.
That's right. It's free now.
Wolverine.
Wolverine the Long Night.
He's a guy who can get some stuff done.
That guy will snikt and bub his way through this long night.
Yep. He knows what he wants and where he's going.
He's got a healing factor.
And he's going to get it and go there.
He's got adamantium claws.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted that part, but it seems to have worked out okay.
You know, sometimes you got to make lemonade out of the lemons that the government.
How much could he actually heal?
Pretty kind of
think?
a lot. I don't know. You know,
What if you burned and or dissolved away like 99% of him?
I don't know that he could regenerate from that much.
What if you have like a single cell left of Wolverine?
No, it's Wolverine. It's not cell.
And then you gave it like 100 years. Would he grow back a whole new Wolverine?
That sounds like an incredibly dry arc of a book to watch him regrow from a single cell. You can hear Wolverine the Long Night right now online or in your podcast app. It starts when a fishing boat is found off the coast of Burns, Alaska. Special agents Sally Pierce and Tad Marshall arrive to find out who or what killed the crew. And their primary suspect is a drifter named Logan.
Huh. Funny how that works.
Yeah, the local police won't
Logan.
cooperate, and there's more going on in Burns than meets the eye. The podcast stars Richard Armitage as Wolverine. You might know him as Thorin from the Hobbit movies.
I do know him as that.
Yeah. Or how about Celia Keenan Bolger.
Okay.
They've put the people's names in here and then also provided pronunciations with them, and I tried reading the pronunciations, and that's way harder.
It just got more confusing.
Yeah, Celia Keenan Bolger as Agent Pierce,
What's she
and
been
Otto Asando as Agent Marshall.
Okay.
Also featuring Bob Balaban, Scott Adsit, and Chris Gethard.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a cast.
that's a cast right there. You've not heard anything like this before. The sound design, acting, writing.
Wow, it's got it all.
It's got it all. They pulled out all the stops for Wolverine the Long Night. Check it out. You can find Wolverine the Long Night for free on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or, wherever you listen to podcasts. Or, hey, how about WolverinePodcast.com?
Whoa.
Yeah, they got more info there.
Wait, really?
WolverinePodcasts.com.
That is a bespoke URL if I ever heard one.
Hey, that's if you want an introduction to the world of Wolverine podcasts, where are you going to go?
Where else are you going to go?
You're going to go to WolverinePodcast.com, or you're going to search for Wolverine the Long Night. Anywhere fine podcasts are cataloged.
I have here this document full of emails.
How many?
Oh.
Like
Thousands.
18 or 20?
Oh my
A
God.
lot.
That is a lot.
I try to pull a lot of emails.
Let's play the damn music then.
Sometimes you don't know how the email segment's going to go and you want a lot to choose from.
That's true.
Sometimes they seem worse in retrospect than they did when you picked them.
Thanks
And
for
you don't
shaping our future nonetheless.
and you don't read some of them because you're like, ugh.
What was I thinking?
No offense. Thank you to everyone who wrote in.
You should name those people.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. How about Gustav from Sweden?
Thank you, Gustav.
Good job.
Thank you, Sweden.
With this whole Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly beef going on right now, I suddenly got to thinking about Duty Calls, the promotional tie-in game for Bulletstorm that parodied modern military shooters for their gray color palette and linear level design in comparison to the very colorful and open-ended combat encounters in Bulletstorm. Can you recall any other video game disses where one company has taken shots at another company?
It's less specific, but like the game parody thing seems to be where this exists. So Conquer.
Okay.
Matt Hazard.
Matt Hazard.
Matt
Yes,
Hazard.
Conquer and Matt Hazard. That's it. Those are the two.
That might be it.
Sure.
And both those games.
Definitely
are-
been in jokes here and there.
There was the driver GTA thing.
Mm.
Where was it? Was it in GTA 3? You found a dead character named Tanner,
I
and
think
then
that's
in a
right.
driver game there was some kind of like
Is there a clawed
clapback
or something?
some kind of thump. Yeah.
Was it The Witcher that had Ezio in a bale of hay?
Oh, I don't know.
Something like that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then didn't they later on do Assassin's clothing for Witcher or vice versa? Was there some crossover?
No,
I
that's
can't remember.
Little digs like that.
it's
Little
not-
tiny
it's-
ones.
it's
no
not-
like outstanding beef though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in game, but the classic.
The driver
Genesis-
GTA stuff was a little more
Yeah.
because that was like, hey, the people what made Driver then went to go make GTA 3, and then or vice versa, like hey, you stole our idea. Like there's a little bit of
I mean, the classic was the Genesis ad campaign, taking
that's-
shots at the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot more beef in advertising back in that day.
Yeah. Edgy
I'm
marketing.
trying to think.
Literally like a lot of
Negative
hot dogs.
marketing.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Yeah.
Was there any Street Fighter 2 MK back and forth at all?
Not that I can think of.
Okay,
Players did that enough.
sure.
To where
But
you
no
did.
ad campaigns or anything?
I maybe I'm forgetting, but I've no official ones. Maybe if someone was making a Mortal Kombat joystick or something crappy like that, maybe they could have said something. Yeah. I don't know. I think even that stuff would have been contextualized in like the platform holder context.
Here's some fan art of Johnny Cage uppercutting Ken's head off.
Yeah, or like the Sega Master System ad where they were like very clear to say we've got 2-player Double Dragon, unlike NES Double Dragon, which was not 2-player.
I need to now Google Mortal Kombat character performing fatality on Street Fighter character.
It's just a Mugen.
Yeah.
One day.
Get your cover art now.
I'm a little disappointed. There's not much out there.
Not what you hoped.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
I tried.
You did.
This comes in from Pete, who lives in Massachusetts now.
Congratulations on the move, Pete.
Yeah. As a native Rhode Islander, I have to set the record straight here. They're called New York Systems.
Oh, the hot dog things?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a hot dog, celery salt, yellow mustard, a steamed bun, and a special seasoned meat sauce that varies from kitchen to kitchen.
I wasn't familiar with the special meat sauce.
Yeah, they're delicious. I'm not sure why they're called New York Systems, and you always get them all the way.
System.
Give me a system.
You got me.
I mean, 2 systems.
Yeah. All the way.
Also at the end,
3-way.
he also says, we also spent the money we got for the Kingdom's IP on coffee milk.
Great.
I don't know if that's maybe an inside joke I'm missing, but
everyone in Rhode Island, because we are number 1 in Rhode Island,
Yeah.
everyone in Rhode Island is flipping out right now.
Sure.
At hearing that. They're like, oh yeah, coffee milk. High five, man.
What other like weird regional foods can you guys think of?
Just the Cincinnati chili stuff.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, obviously there's barbecue beef
Hot
all over
dish.
the place.
Totally. Yeah. Hot dish from
Texas
like the
barbecue,
Midwest.
Carolina
Totally.
barbecue.
Cheese curds. Are you guys familiar with cheese curds?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had some Buffalo Wild Wings sells cheese curds. I
Yeah,
don't think
that's true. That's
Poutine.
But if you ask for cheese curds, well, in grocery stores they sell cheese curds, just the cheese like nugs or whatever, without them being fried.
Okay.
That's considered a cheese curd. That's bullshit.
That's just like here's some cheese we shaped into some balls or curls or that's not.
They've got to be fried.
I can make you some cheese if that's the bar for cheese curds. I can make you cheese curds right now.
No, that is not the bar.
Is cottage cheese just tiny cheese curds?
Blah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's like
gross.
you look at it and go, tapioca pudding. Oh, that's not tapioca pudding.
What do you got against
fucked up.
What do you got against cottage cheese?
I don't
It's
like it.
It's taste, it's flavor, it's
good for you.
mouthfeel.
You gotta put stuff in it.
Ugh.
Then it's good.
No.
Or put it in stuff and have it cooked down.
I
Then
don't wanna
maybe
put
you
it in
end up
anything.
somewhere okay with it. But not a fan.
No.
Cream cheese,
Junk
same.
food.
Oh,
I'm
man,
not
cream cheese is so
a
worthless
I'm not a
garbage
cream
food.
cheese fan. Either.
Put some cream cheese on a New York system.
You kicked out of New York and Rhode Island
That's
for
right.
doing that.
Matthew from Pennsylvania. I noticed that Siphon Filter 3 for PlayStation is in a 2-disc case, but the game is only 1 disc. Why would they do this?
It's a great question.
Help me understand this arbitrary decision.
I'm gonna guess.
It's a conspiracy.
So when year did Siphon Filter 3 come out? Pretty
no
late.
idea.
Pretty late.
Probably
98.
late 90s, or maybe even 2000. Let me see. Wow. Really? November 2001.
Okay. They had a warehouse of these 2-disc cases sitting around.
Yeah, sure.
And they needed to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Siphon Filter came out, they said, fuck it.
Yeah.
And just tried to get as many of them out the warehouse as possible. That's my guess.
I would buy that.
That's my guess.
Is it possible that game was planned as a 2-disc game and then cut down?
Fuck, man, anything's possible.
Yeah, I guess so.
What are they keeping from us?
Oh, yeah. It's the entire, this long lost
Well,
second
Siphon
disc.
Filter 3.2 is going to be coming out pretty soon here on the Vita. And we're all pretty excited to see the continuing adventures of Dave Logan.
On CD, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, on CD.
They're finally going to let you fill that other slot in that case.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great. If you subscribe to PlayStation Plus, you are granted the opportunity to purchase
That would be pretty
disc
good.
2 of Siphon Filter 3.
Personalized one.
Yeah.
Robert from Wisconsin. Who's your favorite fighter in the Wu-Tang Clan game on PS1?
I have an answer to this question. I just can't remember who it is.
Is it
want me to
RZA
read-
with the
read
swords?
down?
It's the guy. He's got the chain.
Gizza.
He whips around. Does Jizza has the?
Jizza, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, yeah, actually, RZA with the swords, because that was like the one finisher that I could remember. And he goes analog all the time, and that's real stupid.
Isn't that game? That game is literally just thrill kill, right?
It's pretty much.
Mhm.
It's like reskinned and some changes made
Okay,
also to moves and like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
1-to-1, but yes.
Is it? I assume it's not nearly as violent.
It is still
It's pretty
plenty violent.
Huh.
Like you had to enter a fatality code to that in that game.
Okay.
It was in the manual to unlock the shit. But you're cutting heads off and blood
Well,
everywhere.
sure.
Like it's.
But I mean, that's what got Thrill Kill pulled, right?
Yeah.
In the first place.
But it got pulled by EA.
Oh.
And then this was a different game,
Okay.
same developer.
Yeah.
So Activision didn't give a shit.
Sure.
When they published it.
Rob from Los Angeles. What makes a good air juggle? What game has the best air juggle? My vote is Odin Sphere.
Oh.
I like air juggles that feel deliberate and logical. Like you are like it. I like it when you were taking kind of the same moves you would do on the ground, but
Yes.
logically getting them together to keep something going.
Yes.
I like Mortal
They're
Kombat.
kind of
air
locked
juggles.
in. Okay, they get popped up.
Yeah.
They get kind of locked in place. You can do another. My ideal string is like a 3-hit combo into some sort of
Launcher. Okay.
I have to hit a button to actually follow them up. I don't want to automatically go up. Even though you can go automatically up in Spider-Man, I don't like that. I
Really?
still hit the fucking jump button. And then I want them held in place for at least 3 hits,
Okay.
and then some sort of finisher, whether
Okay.
that be knocking them down.
Kind of return to the ground.
So you're
Right.
talking almost more like the MVC style of jump follow up type stuff.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's always, standing stuff too. That's always fun. But I need them to be
Like
locked
Tekken
in.
juggles, like that
I
type
need
of
them
like
kind of. Yep. Yeah, where you're
Yeah.
still on the ground and you're just kind of like popping them up with,
Yeah.
with each. Really bad air juggling, Castle Crashers. Because they're continuously falling.
Mm.
Oh,
You've
so
got to
you can't
like
keep
jump.
it going?
You can't really
Yeah.
keep it. It actually goes for quite a while, but it's just like mashing one button. It's just really
Yeah, that's not
sloppy. There's no technique.
I
to
like
it.
the idea, and I think Tekken and Mortal Kombat both do it fairly well, of like, you can think about it and logically try to say, like, I bet I would have time to put this in there before they get down.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times that works.
Mhm.
And it's not always the optimal combo or something like that, but like it just kind of makes sense. I think that's the stuff I like.
Nothing's
When it's
more-
like custom, like, hey, we did all these separate animations that only work because you're doing an air combo. I never liked that as much.
Nothing's more depressing when you have time to do that uppercut, obviously, but it goes right through them. It's the worst fucking feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
And I think that's why I like the MVC air combo stuff, like follow them up air combos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as into them.
I like them in a lot of
in
games.
terms of just like
not just fighting games, like
Yeah.
more arcadey stuff.
Oh, I think it
like
makes
that shit.
sense for like Spider-Man makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff like DMC, like some of those games with their juggles. I think a lot of that is cool too.
That's
But
just
my favorite,
that's just my preference.
I want to say that to this day I have never played Castle Crashers. I could be wrong about that, but
Wow,
I don't think I've ever actually played it
interesting.
somehow.
it's okay.
I remember that being one of the first like big games after this site launched.
Yeah.
where I remember
Mm-hmm.
that being played in the basement a lot.
Really, kind of reignited the side-scrolling beat 'em up
Yeah.
genre.
Sure.
Especially like at a more indie level. Like we
Yeah.
started seeing a lot more.
Yeah, that was also just early days for downloadable games.
Yeah.
Apparently it came out on the Xbox One with a 5x texture size increase,
Yeah, it looks good.
says them, and a brand new mini game called Back Off Barbarian.
Did
Okay.
not play that.
Maybe someday. Brian from Iowa, with the announcement of Animal Crossing on the Switch in 2019, what new features are you guys hoping for, and what features do you hope to see return from the past games?
Better inventory management.
Okay, yeah.
A cryptocurrency type deal.
Ooh.
Tom Nook
Oh,
into some
shit.
darker
Yeah.
shit.
Nook Bits.
Like a dark web store where you can buy the real
Hell
shit.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
I want my fruit faster.
I would like to see more seamless and bigger scale social stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I need the Destiny Tower exactly, but some kind of just like casual meetup area where you can see a bunch of people running around doing stuff.
Yeah, like
would
a
be cool.
big like a town square doesn't make sense because everyone's got their own town.
Right.
But something that's
Right.
like here's the capital. We
Right,
visited the
yeah,
capital.
yeah, I don't,
and everyone was
yeah,
there.
Totally. I don't know what form that would take, but yeah, like something where you don't have to like juggle friend codes or like contact people to match up or whatever. Like, I just want to like seamlessly just see other people doing stuff.
You think they'll try and
Fair.
tie that into the app
Sound
game
fair.
at all? Pocket Camp?
I wonder.
Oh, I don't know. I hope not.
They didn't tie in. Like Mario Run wasn't really tied
Yeah.
into anything.
Right,
yeah.
So I doubt it. They could. I don't know. That game could have some really cool amiibo support.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other big thing that Nintendo announced. Amiibo support for Diablo.
Oh, that's right.
That's huge.
Kind of Ganondorf.
That's great.
Ganondorf in Diablo or something like that.
Yeah, I just popped down an Amiibo, and then like some name dude comes out.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting.
It's fucking cool.
Just a way to get loot.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let's see. This question's from Abe. I have a couple of friends who are teachers in elementary and middle school, and they were talking about how kids talk these days. One of the things kids like to call each other as an insult is default.
Jesus.
When I asked what this meant, they said it was because of Fortnite, where everyone starts with a random default skin. It is used by both boys and girls, and everyone uses it. For example, yeah, that teacher is so default. Or don't talk to that kid, he's default.
It's fucking savage.
So my question is, did you guys ever experience language influenced from video games growing up in school? Not really.
Not so much.
I think it was like mainstream enough at that point.
Yeah.
To...
I spoke with children while I was out of state.
What?
Not in this state.
You didn't take them over state lines, did you?
No,
Okay,
absolutely
don't do
not. And I found kids that actively dislike Fortnite.
Wow.
What?
Huh. Okay.
Hipster kids.
Yeah.
Another world over there.
What are they into?
Idaho.
More into Halo.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Like 13, 14. They're like, Fortnite, like, whatever.
Huh.
They grew
Yeah.
out of it, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like Halo would be an old man's game to
Yeah,
to
it was,
young kids at this
It
point.
was not what I was expecting. And then someone who was closer to 10, very big on the Roblox. A lot of Roblox chatter
Okay. All
out
right.
there. But
Actively
an
disdain.
active disdain
for
for
Fortnite?
Fortnite
Okay.
in a way
That
that I
makes
was
me-
not expecting.
Nothing against Fortnite, but that makes
No.
me feel good somehow.
Yeah.
Let's see. This email was only signed Hurlhammer. It's a family name.
Yeah.
I sit on a community council that has been in negotiations with an internet provider to get fiber to the home in my area for the last 6 years.
Fuck.
However, this current company, who is the only internet provider in the area, who at the moment provides over-the-air internet and pretty shitty internet at that, has largely been rude, uncooperative, and even insulting during negotiations.
Damn it.
You know, being a typical telecom company. Recently, we discovered that said company has been stealing power grow-op style from the community fire hall, which is needless to say not cool. Is there any advice you can give me to help in these negotiations?
Try to contact a company that isn't currently doing business in your area and see if you can subsidize them to come in somehow, or make it attractive for them to come in and award them the city contract, create some kind of real competition.
Sure.
So that this other company has to fucking shape their shit up
Maybe
or get shut the fuck down.
maybe contact some authorities about this power theft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you maybe are the authorities in some cases. So
Yeah.
maybe I
He
don't know.
says, yeah, community council, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That cannot be legit.
Community council doesn't sound like the cops.
How are you
but
stealing power exactly?
You're tapping into some other building's power lines and using their
see.
power instead of your own.
That sounds
The
dangerous.
same way people used to steal cable.
I see.
You're splicing into some lines and doing.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, well, it could be a case of buildings with old wiring. They might not even know in some cases.
Yeah. Fair.
Depending on who can say.
Sure.
So I would not assume guilt, but hey, I'd make them pay up.
My idea is just start a riot. I don't know what
There you
else
go.
to do.
Yeah. Let's go in there and start knocking heads
Oh
around.
yeah,
Yep.
smash the state. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. It's from within.
Telecom monopolies are infuriating. I sympathize.
Start a socialist internet co-op
Yeah. There you go.
where members of the community take turns working the switches to route the packets
Okay.
to make sure they get where they're going.
That sounds fun.
Just start a really good local LAN.
Just keep building on it.
Yeah,
Eventually it'll be internet.
yeah.
James from Memphis. Will we start to see public opinion turn more sour on the timed exclusivity stuff that the PS4 keeps doing with stuff like Destiny DLC, Black Ops 4 beta access, and so on? People have been upset or annoyed with Sony the past year regarding some of their non-friendly consumer practices. No crossplay, no backwards compatibility. Weirdly enough, not much of a stink has been made about their timed exclusive nonsense. I say this as someone annoyed I have to wait 5 extra days to play the Blackout beta on PC, and also questioning if I should even bother getting the Destiny 2 expansion, considering the extra content that PS4 players get that I don't.
Signed a PC player.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a case where Sony can do it because there are so many more PlayStations out there than Xboxes that, you know.
So the vast majority of people aren't going to be upset because they're benefiting?
And I would guess, and I am just guessing, but you got to figure between the delay and release and all the other stuff, like the PS4 is probably the overwhelmingly dominant platform for Destiny 2 and Call of Duty.
Well, I wonder about Destiny now just because I know so many people that have moved.
Yeah.
But that's not data.
Yeah.
So I can't say
maybe
for sure.
Maybe you're right. But I would guess traditionally those being traditionally huge console shooter companies and publishers and all that sort of stuff.
It probably still is by far the biggest, I would have to assume.
So that's why if there is a stink, it's not from the dominant end of the player base.
Right.
Because they're playing it on PlayStation 4, so they don't even notice. The Fortnite thing, the crossplay stuff has the chance to be a much bigger deal because people who own the dominant platform are also affected.
Right.
And we'll see what happens. As things change. Like, how is the Switch selling? Is the Switch going to pass the PS4? Do you think over the next year, 2 years, something like that?
Definitely not.
But it is selling like a motherfucker.
It is,
so, that's a growing base of angry people about this Fortnite situation.
Sure.
So, we'll see.
It seemed like the Destiny extra content became less relevant over time, or there's less of it.
I think, also, I think once you realized
what it was.
It
is meaningful, but not
when it's a strike,
hugely
and there's not a lot of strikes.
Now,
there are a ton of strikes I still have yet to see.
Going from 3 to 4 strikes is a big deal. That's a lot, Also, you can load anyone you want now, finally. I don't know if you noticed.
Really?
On the individual maps. There will be icons for any strike in that location.
Yeah, but will that player match you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it'll just match you right in. So if you want to see that new one or any of the new ones from the new expansion, you just go pick those. I think you may not get credit towards some of the daily and weekly quest stuff doing it that way.
Okay.
But you can still do bounties and stuff there.
There's stuff from the base game that you had quests that led into a strike that you couldn't matchmake at launch. So
because those were not in the rotation?
Well, it was an icon on the map that you would have to go to the strike and do it.
Right.
But my understanding is it would never matchmake you in there. So you had to build a team. So I just never did them. So I still have things in my inventory.
Oh yeah, you can.
You need to go do this strike, and that I just never did.
Yeah, you can load up any strike and it'll just match you. And I've had no problem getting into launch strikes to do specific quests.
Yeah. I wonder if those quest strikes will matchmake or not.
Wait, which ones?
The ones that are part of a quest line. I've reached quest lines that are now you need to do this strike.
I think you just do it. I don't think it's a specific version of the strike.
No, it's because I've done the strike.
Okay,
it's an icon on the map of just trackable, startable mission that I bet that still doesn't matchmake if I had to guess. It's still in my pursuits list.
Huh.
Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I just haven't tried it in a year now. So
yeah, that stuff should all be doable.
Also, I think I'm so over-leveled for those story strikes now that I could probably just solo.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to go back and do old stuff and just kind of blast through there. Let's see. How about Charlie?
What's up, Chuck?
Hey.
The recent release of Spider-Man as a blockbuster, culture-devouring sales juggernaut made me realize that it is the first AAA Marvel superhero game since the MCU started. I remember in the olden days, every big movie would have some video game tie-in that was usually awful. And while I understand that ballooning development costs means direct tie-ins are largely left to mobile platforms, I would think that those same ballooning costs would lead publishers to seek out valuable IPs. Where do they all go? Wouldn't an Armored Core clone with an Iron Man skin make bank?
No.
Right?
I say that as an Armored Core fan.
Where are all the dumb Harry Potter tie-ins? And why has there not been a remaster of James Bond Everything or Nothing? That game ruled.
That game did rule.
I guess
it's still expensive.
It's still just a big bet.
Yeah.
You even something like Spider-Man, you've got I'm sure some built-in expectation that it'll do well, but maybe not as well as it has done.
And, Sony can kind of justify some of that stuff by saying hey, if we do this, we'll sell some consoles. Yeah. Also, they can afford to eat that cost as a part of, hey, we need to create content for our thing.
Yeah. This reminded me, I went to a little press screening of Age of Ultron, like, what was that, 5-6 years ago at this point?
Mm-hmm.
But they had like a little cocktail mixer afterwards, and like I started talking to some guy who turned out to be a Marvel executive who was saying at that time, like, yeah, we're not making console games anymore. Like this was at the tail end of them doing it, so it kind of wasn't like known very well at that time. But it was just an offhand comment that like, we're getting out of the console business. Like it's not really a thing for us anymore.
Yeah, no.
And sure enough,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the thing is like you look at Spider-Man and how I assume it's selling super well. People seem fucking stoked. But I don't know that this will necessarily lead to more Marvel games on console.
Yeah. There could definitely be another Spider-Man.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
I
don't
know
if there's a team out there with a really great idea and the money all lines up and all that other stuff, I could see Marvel doing it.
Yeah.
But I also don't know that like Spider-Man's also good proof that they don't need to have it be tied in directly to their movies.
Yeah, totally.
In
fact, they probably
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And have to hit that cycle. But then you end up in a case of like, okay, well, what Marvel characters are not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe so that you can carve out and tell your own story the way Spider-Man did?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty. Peter Parker.
Well, I mean, the Spider-Man movies are happening again. Like they don't seem to, like the Arkham games were
I guess so,
happening while Batman games movies were happening.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily.
I guess there are still Spider-Man movies happening.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, they're making a sequel to Homecoming. I don't know. Spider-Man feels like this perfect storm to me of like there's all this nostalgia for the old PlayStation games, and it's got this specific mechanic that people really want to play well, and like there's just sort of a zeitgeist around. Like I don't know that. I guess what I mean is I don't know they can replicate that with Captain America or
I
don't know. Name another Marvel hero.
Fantastic Four. No. Think about all those stealth levels with Ms. Fantastic, Mrs. Fantastic.
Stop it.
She's invisible.
Stop it.
It's easier.
Okay. All right. Now I'm in.
There we go.
X-Men Legends, a new one of those.
Yeah,
a new
sure.
Diablo with Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Now that Marvel Heroes has been shut down.
Sure.
Yeah. Dan in Minnesota. Last week, Rory commented that it was a little weird that Shadow of the Tomb Raider was releasing on a Friday. Actually, if you look at the upcoming releases, most big titles are launching on Fridays from now on. This includes Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, FIFA 19, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Black Ops 4, Soul Calibur 6, Red Dead Redemption 2, Smash Brothers Ultimate, Resident Evil 2, Anthem, Crackdown 3, Days Gone, Metro Exodus, Devil May Cry 5, The Division 2, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It seems that Friday is now the default day for big game releases.
Yeah. It happened.
There you go.
It did, yeah.
But then in some cases, it's still
continue?
a weird situation of like, if you want to play on Friday, buy the big version of the game. Otherwise, wait till Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like there's still some of that going on as
Still
well.
some, but yeah, most of those titles are not going to touch that.
Also, that you get into issues where if you ordered a physical copy and something gets cocked up in shipping, you're not going to see it until Monday as opposed to Wednesday.
Yeah.
As opposed to the following day. So that's kind of...
I don't know, man. Well, it depends. Like, I don't know. I feel like Amazon will deliver any goddamn day they feel like it.
Well, they're getting to that point.
Like, there's like people showing up in Tercels, leaving packages on my doorstep on like a Sunday night. And I'm like, what the fuck is Amazon even doing now? It's bizarre.
Yeah. They're going to make their own shipping company.
Yeah, no, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's Uber, but putting cat litter on my doorstep.
Yeah.
Do you think
it's probably bad?
Do you think this trend is going to continue?
Oh, it's done. Yeah. But I think that it'll continue to be a split of games just straight up launching on Friday and games doing an early because you spent $100 instead of $60. Thing.
Yeah. Tomb Raider did that with a
Forza's doing it
Wednesday and Friday thing.
Yeah.
But Tuesday is still going to be the de facto day. You think? Where like digital games are going to be released, like a majority of them.
We'll see. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, wasn't Tuesday related to retail distribution in some way?
Yeah.
So
Tuesday was the same day that like music and stuff was already coming out.
But didn't it take like physical distribution into account somehow?
Yeah.
So,
because that was the thing. It was they had to ship CDs to stores and DVDs followed on the same day. So games followed on the same day just because the shipping lines were already set up to get games there the same time, so it just made sense.
Yeah. So as we get more into digital releases being the thing that matters,
right?
Like those days start moving around.
Yeah, they can kind of be whatever,
which is probably good in the long run.
Yeah. I don't know if shipping has changed dramatically. Like it could be still a case where like companies are like stores are getting copies as if it were a Tuesday release, but hanging on to it until the Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You see retail copies just like people posting pictures of check out what I
yeah.
got.
Oh yeah.
Like
you still all the time
still
say like,
random.
I talked to people at Walmart into selling it to me.
Yeah.
Like 4 days early or whatever.
I live in a big city with a lot of independent game stores that just don't give a fuck.
Sure.
And so I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that time you overnighted me a copy of Modern Warfare 2 from New York.
I think I was out there for Vinny's wedding or
Yeah.
something like that. And yeah, they just happened to have Modern Warfare 2.
Wow.
Crazy early. This email comes from Jeff. Having just watched the latest demo derby and hearing your thoughts about how powerful a grenade feels in your hands, I figured I would share my story about the first time I threw live grenades in my Army career. I'll start by saying that Hollywood has ruined grenades.
Oh no.
What me and my platoon mates were expecting, a giant fireball that would blow a building apart, was replaced by a loudish bang and a small puff of smoke, the ultimate wet fart. And inevitably, on every grenade range, you get the dreaded dud, a faulty grenade. What this means is that you then have to sit behind a concrete wall for half an hour before the combat engineers can come out and BIP, or blow in place, the faulty grenade with C4.
Bip it.
This normally happens 2 or 3 times again and can make the day very long. All this being said, grenades are incredibly deadly. While you may not get the cinematic fire blast Hollywood promises, you get hundreds of tiny pieces of metal flying in every direction at a detonation velocity of 7,900 meters per second, much more deadly than a bit of fire.
That's not as fun.
I remember the first time I heard it was like, I want to hear it was like a story about Beirut or something like that back in the 80s. It was like, yeah, and they were throwing grenades at each other in the same house. It was like a like detailing a conflict that was happening inside the same house.
Huh.
And to me, it was that exact thing of just like, well, grenade fucking blow that whole like. I was like, that's crazy. Why would you throw a grenade and be in that house?
Right.
That's insane. Like, oh wait, yeah, grenades are not.
As long as there's something solid between you and the shrapnel,
Yeah.
you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's fucking
Bummer.
wild. Yeah. But yes, totally. People's impressions of grenades are super different.
Thanks for ruining that for me.
That's why I like stuff like Destiny, because you just get magic grenades. And then who cares?
They blow up over and over again.
This grenade is purple. All right. We've got a trio of music emails to finish this out.
All right.
Wonderful.
This email comes in from John. Your recent emails about Fall Out Boy and some other band reminded me of something that happened 8 years ago to me. I live in I live in Austria, and in 2010 I was strolling around in a mall in a place called Pasching. Now Pasching, as you all know, has about 7,000 inhabitants and is basically in the middle of nowhere. So I was kind of surprised when I saw a ton of posters claiming that 50 Cent was going to perform there.
Perform there?
I did some research and found out that the mall owner's girlfriend turned 24 and wanted to see a live 50 Cent concert. No, really. I know somebody who worked at that mall, and while I'm not the biggest rap fan in the world, the idea of watching 50 Cent perform for about 200 people in a shopping mall in Pasching at a rich girl's birthday party was amusing to me. So I needed to see it. So I asked my friend to help sneak me in. The concert was all right. However, a couple of hours before, a friend and I actually got to meet Mr. Cent during a public signing of a book he wrote. When we met him...
Was it the 50 Laws of Power?
Is that... I would assume so. When we met him, my friend proclaimed... Oh, I'm sorry. I just got new contacts. My eyes are still adjusting. When we met him, my friend asked him if he ever got that, quote, motherfucking skull, and he had no idea what we were talking about. Even after we explained our hilarious reference, he acted like he had never heard of the game and proclaimed, I'm not here to talk about some video game. I'm here to sign books. I have never been more disappointed in my life.
Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Also, he links to a news story on an Austrian site
Well, I believe him.
about this exact event. So
I believe him.
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, those types of private gigs,
Yeah,
corporate gigs, like there's a lot of money
sure
to be
that
made as a
happens.
touring artist, like
Sure.
showing up and
Like I said,
Maroon 5 at the DuPont summer
Yeah.
fucking picnic, or you know,
Or say you're okay playing a dictator's birthday party. You can make a whole lot of money.
yeah.
I said last week that I actually hired the Proto Men to play at a local bar
Yeah.
for us. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. They just drove up and they gave me a price tag. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we can
Yeah.
pay that.
All right.
And they drove up and put on a show in a bar.
Man, that's cool. This email is signed Zaruba.
Aruba.
which I believe is this person's last name. After hearing your reaction to the Fall Out Boy song titled Grand Theft Autumn last week, I have a challenge for you. Below are pairs of song titles. In each pair, one is a real Fall Out Boy song, one is made up.
Oh no.
All right. Number one. A lot of these have kind of part of the title is in parentheses, so hopefully you'll just kind of get that from my inflection. But number one, A, sending postcards from a plane crash. Wish you were here.
That sounds real.
B, coffee pots full of Dave's socks. Prison break.
A is real.
It is real.
Let me look at the key. Yes, that is correct.
Yay!
A is real. Number two, A, I bet this bus could easily go 85 miles an hour if we tried. B, I've got a dark alley and a bad idea that says you should shut your mouth. Summer song.
B.
Wait. If we tried, is that in parentheses?
No.
Okay,
If
then
we
it's
tried,
not.
it's-
I'm going to say B on that one
Yeah,
as
B.
well.
B is in fact the correct answer.
Nice.
That's really, really something. 3, A, astronauts are really good at running in place. B, I've got all this ringing in my ears and none on my fingers.
B.
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 B is correct.
Hmm.
4A, reinventing the wheel to run myself over. B, there's a good reason these tables are numbered, honey. You just haven't thought of it yet.
Oh,
A.
B.
I
So A is correct, but in this case,
Oh.
it turns out that B is a Panic at the Disco song.
Okay.
Half point.
Yeah.
Fueled by ramen, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Okay, last email.
Oh, we got them all.
Yeah, good job. Big Fallout Boy fans.
I
in
got them
here,
all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out.
No, I got the wrist thing and everything.
Yeah.
Pit-Boy, all this shit.
All right, Matt from Schaumburg, Illinois. A couple weeks ago, Jason was talking about how he used Skid Row's 18 in Life for a homework assignment and got great praise for it.
It all worked out.
Well, I have a similar story with a different ending. Riding the bus to school, I realized I also had completely forgotten about a homework assignment about writing a short poem or story.
Mm-hmm.
Lost and completely blank, I decided to just use the lyrics to the song currently playing in my 16-second anti-skip Panasonic CD player. The song, Faith No
That's
More's...
a long anti-skip.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
That's
16
nice.
seconds.
That's pretty
yeah.
good. He's probably on the younger side,
Hmm.
if I had to guess. CD players were getting good at that
Yeah.
point. The song, Faith No More, is epic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I turned in the paper with horrible handwriting because of writing it on the bus and proceed to think nothing of it because my teacher was in his early 60s and I thought he was out of touch until the next day. I get to English class and my teacher tells us that he has a great new exercise for us on how to analyze stories or poems. He pulls out a boombox and presses play, and what comes on, Faith No More's epic. I instantly knew I was caught. Once the song ends, he asks the class what they think the lyrics meant. Some of the kids raised their hands. I didn't. He glared over at me instantly and said, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what I said because of the fog and worry of being caught and what kind of trouble I was in. He seemed satisfied with my response and moved on. After class, he asked me to stay and talk. I instantly confessed to the crime. I made up some sob story along the lines of my sister was sick and I was taking care of her or something. In the end, he never reported me to the office and gave me a D on the assignment. At the bottom in red, he wrote, at least you didn't pick Midlife Crisis. No one can analyze that song.
Oh, Jesus. He's a big fan.
The song lyric exercise was kept twice a week for as long as I was at that school.
Well, we got a cool new assignment out of it, but I mean, hey, man,
Yeah.
you rolled the dice. You know,
Yeah.
you did what had to be done.
Yeah.
You got a D.
That's
I'm with you.
that's a
Y-
pretty-
and you
that's
got a, you know,
that's a-
that's passing.
That's a pretty cool English teacher.
Yeah. I had a
Midlife Crisis is my favorite.
a
Faith No More
history
song.
teacher that pulled out a boombox one time for recording purposes, actually. So he's like, he started recording and he's like, this is like a verbal agreement with everybody in the class. He's like, I will not say shit in this class. And we had to like repeat it back. I will not say shit in this. I will not say fuck in this class. And it's like, I want to say fuck in this class.
Huh.
But he had a verbal recording. That was our verbal agreement.
Okay.
We got to say it once and have our ha-has and whatever. But he liked to keep it clean. He was a very
Wow.
big military guy.
Which was this high school?
This was junior high.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of swearing in your other classes.
I
I
guess
feel like we
so.
couldn't have gotten
Man.
away with that in any class. But,
Yeah.
Huh.
He was like, yep, from here on out, you are not to say it.
Okay, then. All right. That does it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
That's so. That's so fucking extreme.
Yeah, it was
Like,
like
I'm gonna
he was,
record you saying,
and he was like kind of forcing us to like say it too.
say
Yeah,
it,
like-
say it, say you love Satan.
Right. Yeah. Like
it's-
I almost feel like he's like trying to manufacture some evidence or something.
right. He's
Something.
gonna blackmail you later.
Yeah. It turns out that was a real. He was a very cool teacher.
Oh.
He was a cool dude.
Yeah. All right.
Showed me Blade Runner for the first time. That was awesome.
Okay then. I guess we're done with this podcast.
Yes.
Or are we? I don't know.
We're gonna hold off on the after show one more week.
Okay.
I originally thought about doing it without Ben here, but it just doesn't feel right.
That's rough.
Sure.
So he'll be back tomorrow. So we should be back on it next week.
Yes.
Uh,
Sounds good.
yeah.
And then, we'll have a quick look at the Gardens Between, which I mentioned earlier. Some other stuff going on this week.
That's right. Absolutely.
Things in the works.
Of course.
Yeah, man.
Keep your eyes on the website.
It's a website.
It is.
They've got one. They've got those.
Uh-huh.
We've got one.
Yeah. For
Check it
now.
out.
Videogames.com. Check it out.
Until they take it away.
That's right.
All right.
Then what will
start
we
our-
have?
I
We're gonna start our own.
still have this
Internet.
podcast.
Start a launch a BBS.
Next week at the same time. We'll still have this podcast. See you then.
Have you ever listened to a podcast and thought, I could do that? Well, you're in luck. Squarespace, the juggernaut of podcast advertising, has partnered with Gimlet Creative to find the next great podcast host. The search will be documented in a podcast by Jonathan Goldstein, host of Gimlet Media's Heavyweight podcast. If you're a U.S. resident over the age of 18, you can submit your podcast idea by visiting castingcallshow.com. Submissions close May 21st. Don't wait. Submit your idea for the next great podcast at castingcallshow.com. That's castingcallshow.com by May 21st.